Are you muted?
Hello and welcome to Too Real Live. I'm your host, Dale, and I'm with Angela. Hello, Angela.
Were you muted this whole time?
I was muted. I was just sitting there talking. I got this new mixer board that I forget I have to turn it off and on.
You forget to turn it on?
And so I forget to turn it on.
It's on now. You have to put a Post-it note on it.
People work with Post-it notes. I don't work with Post-it notes.
You just ignore them.
I can't do them. Yeah, I just ignore them. I'll crumple them up. They end up with hair on them in the back of them. And it drives me crazy.
That is kind of a pet peeve of mine too.
Yeah.
When the adhesive picks up hair.
It drives me nuts. I'm just like, oh. It's like getting one in your mouth or whatever. And you're like, oh, what the fuck is that? Yeah, the hair drives me crazy. So. Fell bombing, I said, is here. Also, Delicate has arrived. Hello, Delicate. So good to see you.
Thank you for and Bobo coming. Said that was awesome yesterday.
Yeah, no, that was fun. I said, yeah, we had a great time. It was like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did. We had a good time. I had a good time for sure. Listen, man, it was an interesting thing to share my side of that call with you guys. And I thought a lot about it before I did it, but there were two real reasons that I wanted to do it. I'll tell you, man, it's a really also a very interesting thing, but I really did want him to succeed. I wanted him to be successful.
Who's he?
Andy Signor,
Okay.
I was really rooting for that guy. And
why?
I don't know, man. He can be a very likable person.
I know, but you knew he was accused when you met him, right?
Well, I didn't know the extent of the story at all. So this was all the shocking shit for me. Because, by the time he had talked to me, all of the sort of water had begun to simmer and not boil. And so when I looked it up, it was like Andy Signor has to leave because of an affair or whatever. And I never, I just perused it, because I didn't know anything about the lewd videos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so had I known about the lewd videos, it would have changed the dynamic for me in a big way, for sure. In the moment.
What was it in the text thread that was exposed in Justin Baldoni's deposition between Melissa Nathan and her friend, where they were talking about, they said dick pick a palooza?
Yeah, dick pick palooza.
That she could make a killing on all these problematic men.
Exactly.
She's working with another one on his side too. Andy Signor, she's like, oh, I know exactly how to work these guys.
So it was like the culmination of learning this and then that call and then him having now to turn over and then knowing that he's spent 6 months in communication with Melissa Nathan. And that to me is, you're architecting a story in that situation when you're spending, I had,
Dale, no sound.
What? No, there's sound. There's
you better
sound.
Check it.
Yeah, Bobo's, there's sound.
Oh, you said maybe I need to restart. Stacy said I have sound. Phil Bowling said on your end, Stacy.
So do we have sound? I see sound. I can hear.
Yeah.
I can hear.
Delicate can hear. Great.
Yeah. I'm going to verify. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Got compression on there.
Creamy. Smooth.
I don't know about creamy, but So where was I? So anyway.
That doesn't fucking matter. It's where you were.
Yeah, to just round it all off is all of that just accumulated into this moment where I was like, you know what? I am going to share this. But there was the second and really probably the most important reason was because it became a trust issue also. And, knowing that he had this Claire Danes stuff on his mind and that he could be telling anybody that right now.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you got to clarify that.
Whoa. So that was really
because it was a really it is very unfortunate that you had to break your very wise rule of not trying to name the unnamed person in your book,
In this case, I felt like there was...
So it's kind of shitty that he managed to get that out of you.
Yeah, it's shitty that now people who care to find out might learn that it is not Claire Danes. And the only reason that's shitty is because they're trying to find out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I really just wish people would leave...
We don't even have to talk about it anymore.
I just really wish people would leave the Emily part of the story out of the conversation.
Right.
I didn't bring her up for a reason. Leo's not going to bring her up. You know what I mean?
I'm Bobo said is embarrassed. Said I came in, I had nothing, and after I restarted, I'm good. Hide myself in the bushes.
Why? Yes.
It's adorable.
It's a little weird that you had to reboot. So
it's extremely relatable. I do that shit all the time. Like yesterday, no, it was like the day before or whatever. I was like, you sent me a link to the docket, and I was like, it doesn't look like there's anything as more recent than July.
Than the filing.
And you're like, you're in ascending order, not descending order.
Yeah, that was funny. I was like, it's right there at the bottom.
Dumb. Okay, so we have so much to talk about.
We have
today.
the unflattering things that we do. Yeah, we do. I will say that we really should just make a choice because I don't know. It's just overwhelming. There's just so much.
There is so much.
Do we do Baldoni's deposition today?
Well, if we're gonna read a deposition, I want to read more of Alex Sachs' deposition.
I love this idea.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's, you know what? It's not Blake Lively. It's so important.
Mm-hmm.
It's also another producer.
That's right.
That's also so important.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. Let's roll.
Okay. So Alex Sachs, where we left off yesterday, Alex Sachs is a producer that works with Wayfair.
Yeah.
And is very experienced, like 20 producing credits, right? This person, she knows how a set is supposed to run. She's got enough experience that she knows what everybody's role in the set should be and how it all works when it's working well. Okay.
She's been around, dude.
So yesterday, I was reading the part of her deposition where she explained the 3 instances where Baldoni yelled at her. And the first 2 instances were on Zoom phone calls, which apparently were only script meetings. And she couldn't recall exactly what provoked him to yell at her, but the lawyer couldn't exactly get her to recall what the topic was. But she did recall very clearly when he yelled at her in person and slammed his hands down on a chair next to her and yelled her name. And apparently the context with that was that she informed him that he actually got all the footage he needed and that he didn't need to get any more. And somehow, I don't understand how, but somehow that provoked him to an angry outburst, which is so weird. Because you think it would be the other way around, where he would be like, did I get it? And they're like, no, dude, you didn't, which makes him think he sucks and that he needs to do more and he doesn't want to do more. He wants to move on. And then he would get angry. But no, it was the opposite. She said, you're good, dude. You got it. Everything looks great. We can move on.
Yeah. So I'll just say that, directors want to get as many takes as they can. Right.
And it's his decision. So it's not like her opinion would even influence what he does.
Well, you say it's his decision, but it's not. It really is mostly a committee unless you're a really big shot director. But if you got producers and you got ADs going, you got to go.
Yeah. According to her, it wasn't even a discussion, that he just had an outburst. So it's not like they were.
Sachs.
Yes. SAKS, I think.
Yeah. I just want to get like her time. Sachs. I'm just going to look up her start, when she began. So her career is now 14 years in the making.
Damn.
And she began with producing a short in 2011, according to IMDb. She also has some additional crew credits that go back. So she was also, doing, wow. She was assistant to Mr. Kavanaugh Jones. So she was getting, she got kind of, brought up by Mr. Kavanaugh Jones.
Who's that?
Is that Ryan Kavanaugh? I don't know.
Why is it Mr.?
If it's Ryan Kavanaugh, then that would be really weird. Not in a bad way for her, but just in general.
I don't know.
I'll try and find out. But anyway, she's been around is the point, and that's the only information I want to bring to the table there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to pick up where the lawyer is showing her an exhibit. This is interesting. She said, Exhibit 7 is marked attorney's eyes only, so I will just ask that Mr. Heath not be given the copy, because Mr. Heath is in attendance, and whenever the witness is looking at an exhibit, usually they'll give copies to everybody else to look at too. Yeah. So apparently this was withheld from Jamie Heath, and then
if it was like a slight on Jamie Heath. Because like everybody seems to talk a little shit about them.
I guess if it's attorney's eyes only, he is the only person in attendance that is not an attorney. So I will just ask that Jamie Heath not be given a copy, and that when we ask questions that he leave the room. Isn't that interesting?
Never heard of that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's what that means with attorney's eyes only. But we get to hear about it.
Now we do.
Okay.
I guess so does he if he wants to
The
find
question
out.
is, Miss Sachs, I will direct your attention to Exhibit 6, please, which is a document. And then they're talking about the notification. I mean, the organizing on it, right? The numbers. This is appears to be a text chain between you and Miss Gianetti, indicated as home, dated May 29th, 2023. So they've been in production for 2 weeks. And this is the day before, this text chain is the day before Blake Lively calls a meeting with all the producers. Well, with Jamie Heath and Justin Baldoni to air again her grievances, her complaints on set. Okay?
Yeah.
So this text chain is the day before. May 29th, 2023. Do you see that? She said yes. Lawyer goes, and do you recognize this as a text chain between you and Miss Gianetti? Yes. Would you please direct your attention to Exhibit 7? Exhibit 7 is a text chain bearing the numbers and is dated May 29th, 2023. Do you recognize Exhibit 7 as a text chain between you and Miss Lively? Okay. Yes. And then for some reason, they're not continuing to refer to those, but she says, do you recall the brunch with Jenny? Is that Jenny Slate? Yes. Do you recall having brunch with Jenny Slate on May 29th, 2023, or around that time? She says, I do. And tell me about that brunch. Alex Sachs answers, Jenny and I had a meal prior to this, so I went into it thinking that it was just a friendly brunch, which it was to a degree. But during it, she brought up some concerns that she was having on the movie, which was the first time I was hearing about them. Question, what concerns did Miss Slate bring up during your brunch on or around May 29th? Alex Sachs answers, I don't remember exact language that was used, but there were a few. One was that in a scene, I believe the week prior, Justin had commented on her physical appearance, which made her uncomfortable. That in an initial creative Zoom meeting between Justin, Blake, and Jenny and Blake only found out at the very end of the Zoom that Justin had been recording it the whole time. And that made both Blake and Jenny, from Jenny's point of view, feel very uncomfortable. There was a mention of some kind of comments that Jamie had made to Jenny regarding how generous they had been with her housing allowance, and that it was important for them to take care of new mothers, and that made her uncomfortable. And then there was a lot of other conversations, non-specific, but that she was uncomfortable in both of their presences and really would prefer to never see Jamie again, knowing that Justin was the director and co-star she would have to. Question, Miss Slate said that she never wanted to see Mr. Heath again? Correct. Now, it seems like Jamie Heath is in the room when she's saying that. I think he's still in the room because they haven't referred to the exhibits yet. Isn't that neat? Okay. Question. Are you with me?
I can't believe it.
Okay.
That must be so uncomfortable. You got to sitting there going, and you know what's amazing is when you go to It Ends in Lawsuits.
Yeah.
They love this guy.
Jamie Heath.
They love him. He's a fucking hero.
Even though he paraded his wife's private nude video around
No, they think
his
that's
workplace.
all Blake Lively's fault. They think that's Blake Lively's fault for being offended. That he couldn't have possibly had any kind of sexual intentions, which nobody said he did. Nobody said he did.
It was just a really, really disrespectful thing to do to your wife at your work.
And to your lead actor.
Unbelievable. Okay. Miss Slate said she never wanted to see Mr. Heath again. Correct. And it's your impression that Miss Slate knew that she would have to see Mr. Baldoni because he was the director and co-star, but perhaps she didn't want to see him either. And Alex Sachs says, I can't speak to that, but that was my assumption. Question. You said a lot there, so I want to break it down a little, okay? You mentioned that Miss Slate raised... Oh, okay, this skips now. So No, I'm sorry. This continues. Oh, no. The transcript is getting screwed up, so they're figuring this out. Sorry. The attorney's name is Miss Rosser. So she says sorry about that for the interruption. I'm sorry for that too. Okay.
It's all right, both of you.
You testified that Miss Slate raised during your brunch in May that Mr. Baldoni had commented on her physical appearance, which made her uncomfortable, right? Alex Sachs says that Justin commented on her physical appearance, yes. And do you recall if Miss Slate told you whether that happened while a scene was being filmed, while they were on set or at some other time? They're confused about the name. I'm sorry, I thought you said Miss Blake. I didn't hear you. Okay. Do you recall if Miss Slate told you where she was when Mr. Baldoni commented on her appearance? Alex Sachs says, I don't remember which location it was, but it was on set in costume prior to filming. Question, during a time when no scene was being filmed. Answer, we were not filming. Okay. She says, yet. Question, did Miss Slate tell you what the comment about her appearance was? Alex Sachs says, I don't recall if it was that he called her hot or sexy, and I don't recall if it was once or twice. The first time would have been in the flower shop when she was wearing an all-leather jumpsuit, and the second would have been in the karaoke scene. I don't remember what she was wearing that day, and I don't remember which comment was attributed to which. Question, but you recall Miss Slate informing you that Mr. Baldoni had called her hot and sexy? And she's correcting her. She says, or. So the lawyer's like, hot or sexy. Correct. Okay, and you don't recall the specific what she was wearing at the time. She said, I don't. Question, did Miss Slate share with you during that brunch that she felt Mr. Baldoni's comment that she was hot or sexy was directed to her personally? Answer, I'm not sure I understand the question. Did Miss Slate share with you during brunch that she felt Mr. Baldoni commented that she was hot or sexy was directed at her rather than her character? She didn't specify. Did you understand one way or the other? I didn't. Did Miss Slate also share with you that Mr. Baldoni had commented on Miss Lively's appearance in a similar way? Answer, she would not give me specifics about what Blake was experiencing, but I believe had encouraged Blake to speak to me directly and that I reach out to Blake. This was before Blake Live, the June 1st. This is in the first 2 weeks of filming. Okay. Question.
What a mess.
I know. Such a mess.
Like,
okay.
out of the gate.
I know. Question. Did Miss Slate suggest to you that she had encouraged Blake to reach out to you about her own concerns with Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath? And she said, I believe she did. Question. Do you recall how she suggested that? I don't. Do you recall Miss Slate suggesting somehow that Miss Lively had also had some uncomfortable experiences with Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath? Yes. And that was in the May 29th brunch you had with her, correct? You also mentioned that Miss Slate raised concerns about comments by Mr.
So, they're going to boil that down to like the conspiracy of.
So now Jenny's behind it.
Yeah, and
she's the mastermind.
She's the mastermind, and she's the one who's like got everyone to turn against Justin.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Question. You also mentioned that Miss Slate raised concerns about comments by Mr. Heath with regard to her housing situation. Is that right? Yes. What do you recall about Mr. Heath's comments regarding Miss Slate's housing situation? Alex Sachs says, all I remember, and I don't even know that I knew the details of what was happening at the time, because production and Wayfair were handling it vis-a-vis the contract. Those were the kinds of conversations that I wasn't a part of on this film. But it was something to the effect of, we gave you more than maybe we normally would have, because we prioritize women with families and children. And then it cuts off. So it picks up 2 pages later. Isn't that weird?
Yes. I'm having Bobo's excited about Christmas. And, Bobo has a small child and stuff. Like, Christmas is the best with small kids. You know what I mean? It's like the best thing in the world. It's like, yeah, it's so exciting. Anyway, so I got a little distracted by Bobo. She threw up a Santa.
That's cute.
Yeah.
As long as you don't do Elf on a Shelf. I find that to be so disturbing.
Yeah.
Like you're training your kids to tolerate surveillance.
If you're a good parent, man, the Santa lie goes away easy.
Yeah. But
if you're a bad parent,
Shelf, you're just going to make your kids paranoid for life if you do Elf on a Shelf.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Hanada's here.
Oh, nice.
Go ahead.
Question. So this picks up a couple pages later.
Yeah.
Are you aware that in some states it's illegal to record people without their consent?
Oh, fuck.
Alex Sachs says yes. And would you be okay with your boss recording a conversation with you without informing you in advance? She says yes. I believe you testified that there were other non-specific conversations that Miss Slate raised she was uncomfortable with. Do you recall that? Alex Sachs says, I think I just covered all of them. I don't remember any further specifics. So she's saying, if you would look back at Exhibit 6, please, at 11:23 a.m., you sent a text to Miss Gianetti that said, and she's reading, yes, very bad. I think we need to replace our director, and Jamie should not be on set.
Now, I just want to stop again and just remind ourselves that this is a woman who has been producing for over a decade.
Uh-huh.
She was brought up by a guy called Brian Kavanagh Jones, who worked on Paranormal. So that means that he's worked with Jason Blum. This guy is obviously well groomed, and so she has seen not only enough productions to know exactly how it's supposed to go, but also she has experienced enough production dynamics to see. And listen, a part of a producer's job is absolutely managing the energy, bro.
Oh yeah, of course.
If you see like that you've got guys who are bringing things down, the reason why she's saying that is because she wants to save the fucking movie. Yeah. Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I'm right about it then.
And so she's texting Ange Giannetti, who is the Sony producer.
She's a fucking highly qualified individual, which is what I really meant to say.
So Alex Sachs is working on the Wayfair side, and she's trying to reach out to the Sony side.
Yeah.
Being like, maybe we should do something. This is bad. Okay. She said, yes, comma, very bad. I think we need to replace our director, and Jamie should not be on set.
That is a fucking huge thing, especially considering they own the goddamn property.
The attorney says, you felt that what Miss Slate had shared with you about Mr. Heath and Mr. Baldoni's behavior was very bad? She said, yes. And did you think because of what Miss Slate shared with you that Justin should be replaced as a director on the film? Yes. Why? Because his actors were uncomfortable in his presence. Question. And in your view, it's important that actors be comfortable around the director?
Not at all.
Listen, we're trying to beat the performances out of them. You understand? Right?
They're mere employees.
They're cattle.
They're cattle.
That's apparently what Alfred Hitchcock said about his actors.
That they're cattle?
Yeah, he said, well, I don't believe that they are cattle, but I do believe that they should be treated like cattle.
Well, it depends on, what kind of meat you want, though. Because, when you think about cattle, then you have to think about meat. And we think about the best meat that cows produce.
Yeah.
Right? It's the Wagyu and the, what do you call that stuff?
Yeah.
Where they fucking feeding them grapes and strawberries by
and
hand.
Wine.
Massaging them. So maybe. Go ahead.
And in your view, it's important that actors be comfortable around the director? Alex Sachs said, it's yes. And it's important that people be comfortable in their workplace. Question. Why did you think Jamie should not be on set? Alex Sachs says, because I knew that I was more than capable of running the movie. They just weren't letting me. And so his presence was actually not needed. So if he was making someone so uncomfortable, I didn't see the reason for him to be there.
Well, it's a fucking really interesting thing. This happened to me on the Christian movie.
Yeah.
Like I absolutely, the other producer.
Yeah.
Completely unneeded individual.
Yeah, he was just taking up space.
Just taking up space.
Yeah.
Just absolutely doing nothing. He was doing a job that I would have normally just given to an accountant and a lawyer separately. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? For a lot less money, probably. And
but he wanted to be in the mix of everything.
I was launching his producing career.
Okay, question. And similar to Mr. Baldoni, did you believe that excluding? Okay, sorry, they're striking this. They're starting over. Did you believe that excluding Mr. Heath from set would make actors more comfortable in their workplace? And Alex Sachs says, for at least Jenny, yes. Was Mr. Heath excluded from set going forward? No. Why not? I don't know. Was Mr. Baldoni replaced as a director on the film? No. Why not? I don't know. Other than Miss Giannetti, did you raise to anyone else the idea that Mr. Baldoni should be replaced as director on the film because his actors were not comfortable with him? Alex Sachs says, no, Ange told me that there was no way that would ever happen.
They owned it.
Yeah. Question. So you informed Miss Giannetti that actors were uncomfortable in their workplace due to Mr. Heath and Mr. Baldoni's behavior, and her response was there's no way that would ever happen or something to that effect. Alex Sachs says, yeah, that Sony's hands were tied, they had no control over the movie, and that Wayfair would never replace themselves. Sony's hands were tied. They had no control over the movie.
Because it was making Ange look like the bad guy here, and she's not.
No. But I just
by
think
the way, somebody here is a fan of yours, and they want you to say hi to Summer. Unless it's me, but so should I say hi, Summer?
Say hi to Summer.
Hi, Summer. How you doing? I don't know what you're a fan of. If it's Don's Plum, that's awesome. Hi, I hope you're awesome.
I just think that this is a really interesting point.
Yeah.
Sony's hands were tied and they had no control over the movie.
Okay.
And so who the fuck is Wayfair blaming for everything?
I have said this from the beginning. I have been shouting this from the fucking rooftops. Listen, let me also just say, because I've also said this, that Sony saying that they don't have any, that they're not in charge is also not true. It's contractually true, but it's not true.
Yeah, but she's like, I can't replace the director.
No, they definitely don't have that kind of power. And this is where the problem exists, is that they're in bed, as they like to say, with Wayfair.
But that's what Baldoni's alleging is that Blake Lively took over Sony to replace him as a director, right?
Yes.
Well, here's Sony saying we can't fucking do anything like that. So if Blake Lively had wanted to do that, she'd go to Sony and they'd be like, yeah, sorry, I can't. You know?
Yeah.
Like, obviously that's not what happened. Okay.
Thanks for coming by, Maisie Dolly. That was really nice of you. That's so cute and adorable. And
yeah, isn't it?
I just wanted to. I think I said somebody said, and I felt bad, so I just wanted to acknowledge Maisie Dolly who said it. Yeah.
Okay, should I continue?
Yes, please.
So Alex Ack says Sony's hands were tied. They had no control over the movie, and that Wayfair would never replace themselves. Question: other than Miss Giannetti, did you raise to anyone that Mr. Heath should be excluded from set because actors were uncomfortable in his presence? Alex Sachs says probably the line producer Andrea, but otherwise no. And Andrea was the one who we just read yesterday. Her letter to the PGA recommending Blake Lively get PGA mark.
Yep.
Because of her contributions. Okay. Did you ever raise to Mr. Heath that Mr. Baldoni should be replaced because actors were uncomfortable with his presence on set? And she says no. Why not? Because Justin was Jamie's boss. So she's got no help whatsoever. Question: and did you ever raise to Justin that you felt that he should be replaced as director and his actors weren't comfortable in his presence? No. Why not? And her answer is because he was my boss. Did you feel like you didn't have anyone else to raise these two? Correct.
This is such incredibly important.
Yes.
Because this is HR.
Yep.
This is the HR problem. Mm-hmm. This is the whole HR problem.
Going to HR does what exactly when the people you're complaining about are the ones in charge? What's that?
Nothing. They're dealing with it. Yeah. Bobo's dealing with it. Somebody was coming. I don't know what's going on. Go ahead, though.
They're doing such great work for you.
Yeah.
You just get to hang back.
It's pretty kind of them.
Yeah, it's really wonderful.
Immensely kind that they're like taking care of everybody. Make sure everybody's cool, man. We just want to have a good time and let everybody be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. Okay. Question. Yeah. And just to be clear, you felt that there was no other avenue other than Miss Giannetti to raise your concerns that actors were uncomfortable in the presence of Mr. Heath, the CEO of the studio, and Mr. Baldoni, the director of the film. She says correct. Other than strongly encouraging Jamie and Justin to do an investigation, that was all. Did you raise to Mr. Baldoni that Mr. Heath should be removed from production? She says no. Question: because Mr. Baldoni was your boss and Mr. Heath was his partner? Alex Sachs answers, and because Mr. Baldoni put Jamie in the movie as a producer after he had already hired me. Oh, so she's like, well, I was a competent producer, but he put him as a producer even after
he got added.
Yeah.
Listen, this guy, dude.
This is just like the bro deal, you know.
This guy is. I know this guy. We had one on Don's Plum.
You got no problem with the bro deal as long as your bro doesn't fucking cause problems.
No, but we had this guy who like wants to just leech on because of position and station or whatever, you know, some kind of opportunity in that way, and just wants to latch on. We talked about this on this live before, the way in which people try to get like hungrily attach themselves, so they'd be like, hey, look at me, there's my name. You know, there's.
Yeah,
and,
but
I understand some of the excitement.
The way that
but
Justin Baldoni is explaining it in his deposition is that he really liked Jamie Heath's energy, and he liked how Jamie Heath made him a better person. So he wants Jamie Heath around to like reflect him constantly, which seems like a really great director-producer dynamic.
Sure.
Except these guys are reflecting each other in their bad behavior.
Well, that goes back to him.
And it's all dysfunctional instead.
It goes back to me saying how Jamie Heath failed him on that level, because if that was the dynamic, and clearly it was, then it was Jamie Heath's job to keep Justin secure through a director's cut, and he didn't do it.
No.
He failed because he gave back the power to Justin, and here's why. It's all in this absolute mingling of power, where there's just like all this power because Jamie Heath is subordinate to Justin in the company. So Justin, it's all Justin.
Yep, that's right.
It just all goes right to one guy, Justin Baldoni. And Justin Baldoni's co-chair, Steve Sarowitz, we know by his own testimony
that he's just going to defer to him.
That he doesn't even show up. He doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, so you can sort of see why Justin was so indignant about these complaints in the beginning, because he was like, I don't understand why you guys can't get with the program. This is my set. This is how I run my set. If I want to talk about how I'm circumcised in a work meeting, I'm going to fucking do it. And you guys all have to just deal.
People Magazine.
People
Dude.
Magazine ran that story
They
today.
ran that story today. Justin Baldoni admits to discussing his circumcised penis with Blake Lively
in a work meeting. And it's just amazing because his publicists are trying to spin it, but there's of course they're going to run that story.
No, I know. And look, I know the Baldoni fans are going to run and talk about how everyone was in the room, including Ryan, was milling about. So it's so fucking inappropriate. It doesn't, and they have this whole thing, this sexual harassment, because they have this idea that it has to mean that he has some sexual pursuit with it. And it doesn't have to have that.
Yeah, his intention doesn't necessarily matter. He can just be being a pig.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to continue. Fucking bonehead. I knew the tabloids were going to do this, though. I knew that they were going to take the side that is most advantageous to them, but that they don't care about these people, so they'll just flip on them and just tell whatever the most salacious story is. And that's what's happening now. And he's the victim. Right where he belongs. Okay. And because Mr. Baldoni put Jamie on the movie as a producer after he had already hired me. Question, why did that impact your decision not to raise to Mr. Baldoni that Mr. Heath should be excluded from set due to the actor's discomfort with his presence? Alex Sachs replies, because if Justin felt I could do the job on my own, he wouldn't have put Jamie on the movie in the first place. Did you encourage Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath to conduct an investigation with regard to... And then it cuts off. So this picks up like 3 pages later. Okay, next question. Okay, so after you had brunch with Jenny and she raised concerns about Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's behavior, you had a Zoom with Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath to discuss Jenny's concerns? Correct. And during that Zoom, did you share with them that Miss Slate had concerns with respect to Mr. Baldoni's comments and about her appearance? Comments made by Mr. Heath and other items as well? Yes. How did they react? They actually took it very well in terms of they didn't at the time deny or get defensive about it. They just seemed to be taking it in. And that made it not as challenging of a conversation for me to be having with them, which I appreciated. But so their denial that nobody complained on set is just absolutely fucking bullshit.
It's complete. It's a complete fallacy.
Yes.
It's a lie.
Yes.
It has to be a deliberate lie. Can I interrupt you for 1 minute?
Yeah.
Because Maisie Dolly is asking a question. And by the way, just so you know, if your cousin is such a fan, you could pick this up for them for Christmas, and they'll love it. If they haven't already read it, but it's called Two Real Hollywood Memoir. I wrote it about Don's Plum, and it's fun.
It takes you right back.
It takes you right back.
Yeah.
Check out the reviews, but they might love this. And if you already read it, forgive me. I have a question. If Don's Plum went well and Tobey Maguire never ruined it, do you think you and Leo and everyone else would be friends, or do you think you would have had grown apart? Well, from what I
like thinking that this is Leo asking the question.
Yeah.
That he's just like using an alias, but he's just like, he misses you.
I loved those guys. It would have taken a lot to pry me from their presence in my life. I loved them. Leo included. I felt immensely close to them. They were kind of my family because I immigrated, right? So I moved from Canada. They were all I had.
Yeah.
So they were kind of my everything. So it would have been hard to leave them behind. With that said, there was a lot of behavior going on that if I was a part of, I was already questioning some of the behavior, which you can read about in the book, particularly around Emily Foster, but others as well. And where I was just like, man, what the fuck is going on? We don't need to be getting ourselves into this kind of shit. First of all, what I didn't want to do was get myself associated with something that could get me in fucking trouble. That was one thing that was kind of starting to worry me. But the other thing was just like, I just wasn't sure whether or not, they were going to end up kind of vibing the way I want to vibe. I'm kind of a peace and love kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really into the controversies and what. I was like, a lot of times they'd go out and I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm just going to lay back and write. You know what I mean? Because it's a really good thing for broke people to do. And it keeps me out of trouble. And trouble is something I can get myself in easy. But, I love those guys. I could have very easily I could have very easily been their friends to this day, for sure. By the way, if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. We have a good time here. Even if you hate us, you can have a good time hating us. You don't have to necessarily hit like, but hit subscribe. You don't even, no, you know what? Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Just don't do anything. It's fine. You're good. The haters, I'm saying. Go ahead.
Good. You're good.
You're good.
All right. Question to Alex Sachs. Okay. When you suggested or recommended that an investigation be performed, how did Mr. Baldoni respond? Alex Sachs says he was very open to it. Do you recall what he said specifically? Alex says, I don't remember the exact words, but something to the effect of, I'm happy to do it. I should take responsibility for things I've done. That kind of language. That sounds just like Shane Norman, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In Justin Baldoni was named in the lawsuit by Shane Norman, where he was suing Wayfarer and Justin Baldoni for racial discrimination and retaliation. And this was before this project, It Ends With Us, ever started. And what Shane Norman alleges is that he brought his complaints of racial discrimination and also he had these contract problems where he wasn't getting paid or compensated like he had been promised. And he brought it to Justin Baldoni, and Justin Baldoni totally pacified him, had a wonderful conversation, made him feel like he was heard, everything was going to get taken care of. Like, I'm so glad that we had this talk and that, I'm going to take care of it for you.
This guy was so genuinely moved by it. Like when you read what he said, it was like, it was at the point of reverence.
Yeah, Shane Norman was like, I'm so glad I got this guy on my side because I had one meeting with him. He made me feel so much better about this whole thing. What a relief. And the next thing that happened to him was he got retaliated against. That's right. So here he is, Justin Baldoni, telling Alex Sachs when he hears the very first
whispers,
allegations of sexual harassment and people being made to feel uncomfortable. I should take responsibility for things I've done. Something to the effect of, I'm happy to do an investigation for sure. Never happened. Okay.
Well, it's also improper. Even if he did it, it's improper. You can't, the old whatever cliche is, who's policing the police.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, I think that a lot of people are conflating when they're saying that Blake Lively never filed a complaint with HR. They're misunderstanding that that's Justin Baldoni's and Jamie Heath's job. When they hear that she's making a complaint verbally to them,
they are HR.
It's their responsibility. If they want to protect their company, they're going to escalate it just like they should, right? That's what it's for.
And the conversation, we've heard the conversations about what they're supposed to, how they're supposed to report. They're supposed to report to the superiors.
That's right.
So the only place that can end up is on their desk.
Yep, that's right. Okay.
And by the way, the distance between the problem and them, they're the problem. So it's just such a it's such a bigger deal.
What are they supposed to do?
Because even if they were like shitty about taking care of a different problem, hey, there's this guy fucking Norman over here who won't fucking leave the girls alone.
Yeah, and Justin Baldoni might have been like, yeah, cool, I looked into it, I'm going to take care of it, I'm going to change my behavior, but he fucking didn't. So,
the problem, that's what I'm saying. This is where the dynamic really shifts. Is like, as supervisors, it's much easier to go and say, hey, well, this issue is with this person, but when it's happening, when you're the person and you're the superior, that conflict of interest just stops it from even being logical.
Okay. Next question.
Call the 800 number is what they should have said.
During that Zoom call following your brunch with Miss Slate, did you also raise that Miss Lively had certain concerns about Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's behavior? And Alex Sachs says, no, because I didn't know that for sure yet. Question. How did Mr. Heath react to your recommendation that an investigation into his and Mr. Baldoni's behavior be conducted? Alex Sachs says, he heard it and said that they needed to talk about it. Did you ever hear from Mr. Heath after that conversation about whether they were, in fact, going to conduct an investigation into his and Mr. Baldoni's conduct? Alex Sachs says, not proactively, but we obviously talked about it again, whether it was because I brought it up. I think I brought it up to kind of check in on it, but then at some point he did let me know that they weren't going to do an investigation. Question, so after this initial Zoom call
Which, by the way, is breaking the rules.
Absolutely.
They have to investigate claims of sexual harassment by law.
In that moment, he made his company vulnerable to civil litigation.
In that moment.
Yes.
This is a major fucking issue. Mm-hmm. This is like damning as hell. This is the stuff that the Baldoni file, or not the Baldoni files, they're the sensible ones. The unsensible Baldoni fans are not paying attention to. This is what they're not paying attention to.
Yeah.
These are the details they just walk away from. They don't even think about.
Yeah, Steve Sarowitz wants to spend $100 million to protect his company, but he's not going to do anything so simple as like have an investigation, follow the rules, make sure that you cross every...
Hire an HR person to be present.
Yeah, or just
a
like,
present department who does independent investigations into any allegation.
All of this, his company would have been protected if they had actually done what they're supposed to do.
All he needed to do was use his own software.
Yeah, right.
And hire somebody to fucking use his own software in his own company.
Okay, I'm going to continue.
Please do.
After this initial Zoom call where you shared Miss Slate's concern with Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath, you had another follow-up conversation with Mr. Heath and Mr. Baldoni about concerns regarding their behavior on set. She said it was probably just Jamie, and it was probably a non-specific call. I believe at that point we were probably on the phone multiple times a day and was coming up in the course of various other conversations. Question. So the follow-up discussion you recall being just with Mr. Heath. Yes, I believe so. And it was on the phone? Yes. Mr. Heath shared with you during that follow-up conversation that Wayfair would not be investigating concerns about his behavior or Mr. Baldoni's behavior. Alex Sack says that was the final call about it. There was, I believe, one in the middle where we were just talking about it, about the possibility of doing it again. Question. And do you recall about, what do you recall about the middle call? She said, not much, probably just me pushing for it to happen again. So they must be like, gosh, she keeps bothering us about this.
Yeah.
Question. Why were you pushing for an investigation to occur? Alex X says, because I wanted the behavior to be taken seriously. And also, since I hadn't been there to see any of it, it's the way that you sort of address and handle these things and could hopefully make for a more comfortable work environment for everyone going forward.
I just want to stress it again, just one more time, especially since we have some people, flexing in and out. A producer's job is the culture.
Yep.
Like one of the main producer's job, particularly when it goes to the different phases of production, is what is that culture and making sure that culture is going to produce a finished film that everyone can be proud of and that everyone felt heard and expressed in, who were a part of making it. It's a big part of that's their job.
I know.
So everything that you hear this woman saying, like I'm absolutely head over heels for her. She's my kind of producer.
You kill the monster when it's little, right? Like you see a problem, you fucking nip it in the bud.
That's
you bring it to
example,
light, right? Everybody can talk about it.
Yes.
Like, it's fucking sorted, so you can move on and get the business done. Okay,
it's crazy,
so stupid.
But it's just important to recognize that everything she's
really
talking
juicy.
about here is so important and a part of her job. It's the part that Jamie Heath didn't understand because he didn't have the experience. He's green. And look, it's okay to be green, but this motherfucker's walking around with PGA credit.
He's making problems.
And he's making problems
Okay.
on his own movie.
Yeah, I know. Listen. Did Mr. Heath ever explain why Wayfair would not be conducting an investigation into Miss Slate's concerns about Mr. Heath and Mr. Baldoni's behavior? Alex Sack says, not sort of tap danced around the idea that it would be better for all of this to not be on an official record. Question. Do you have an understanding what does that mean to you? Answer. That he didn't want the behavior written down, documented anywhere, in the event that someone wanted to talk about it again in the future.
That's tantamount to a cover-up, right? So he just wants to cover it up.
That's right.
He's covering it up.
Question. Your impression is that Mr. Heath did not want Wayfair to conduct an investigation into concerns about his and Mr. Baldoni's behavior because he didn't want a written record of it anywhere?
Holy
she says correct.
Fuck. He's hiding bodies.
She says correct.
He is hiding bodies.
What do you recall Mr. Heath saying? Do you recall Mr. Heath saying anything specifically that gave you that impression? She said no, but that's your recollection of why Wayfair decided not to conduct an investigation into the behavior raised by Miss Slate? She said yes. She said, do you recall Mr. Heath saying anything specifically that gave you that impression? No. And that's they'll exploit that for sure. Because they'll be like, okay, well, you just got an impression that that's how he feels. But the end result is the same.
Yeah.
If he wanted it documented, he is the person who can decide to have it documented. If he didn't want it documented,
that probably wouldn't make it to the jury. That wouldn't be because it's hearsay. Right. So it's not even hearsay. It's speculative.
Okay.
So, they're not going to, it's easily objectionable, but it's, look, not putting in writing that it doesn't matter why she thinks it. The fact that he didn't want to put it in writing is something we can all understand. We know why we do. It's the same reason why you say, oh, you don't have to pay me with a check. You can pay me in cash.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Cash only business over here, folk. Come on.
Okay, so here is Alex Sachs' version.
John Farm's like, yeah, not putting it in writing is exactly what innocent people do.
It's exactly true.
People who are not making any mistakes, not doing anything wrong.
I know, totally. I know. They don't record everything.
It's fucking crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, on June 1st, so this is the very next day, at 9:35 a.m., you send Miss Giannetti a text stating, and they're reading, "We had a very good, tough chat with Blake. She was eloquent and on point, called Jamie out in front of me and Justin kindly." Do you see that? She said yes. What are you referring to here? Alex Sachs says, "I believe this was a meeting in her trailer about the concerns." So this is the June 1st meeting that I've been rubbing in everybody's face because...
Is this the one where he shows up outside the trailer first?
No. June 1st, Blake Lively called a meeting with Justin Baldoni.
I do remember this. Go
and
ahead.
Jamie Heath, and was like, "This shit happened on set. This shit happened on set. This shit happened on set. We want it to fucking end. This behavior's got to stop." So apparently, according to Alex Sachs, she said that she called them out kindly and that Blake Lively was very eloquent and on point. Okay?
As you would expect, by the way. And just, in terms of her disposition.
I know about this date and that meeting from Justin Baldoni's own timeline document. So he that's what I'm always fucking showing everybody. I'm like, page 33.
And this is a problem
because this is where he admits that he knew that she complained to him. And I thought that was the first time that he had heard. No. He knew about the complaints as they were of each event as they were happening. But after the June 1st meeting, that it was like a formal meeting where she's voicing her complaints to the management. That's when he could no longer say that there wasn't any complaints.
It's such a big problem for them because one of the elements of SH is pesky, consistent, like just consistently doing these. Like if small offenses, but it's constantly happening. That's just as much as a severe offense.
No, it's true. It creates a hostile work environment.
Yeah. So it's a part of a hostile work environment, but it's also specific to the fact that they've been warned. So like it's been brought to their attention. And this is what establishes their persistence in this behavior.
Yeah, because Blake Lively is doing exactly what she's supposed to do. She's voicing her concerns. They're the ones who are fucking dropping the ball by not having an HR process that she could use, they could use to protect their own business.
And there's consistency here, right? She did that. She wrote the 17-point document.
Yeah, right.
They presented a settlement letter that they should have negotiated to a mutual end.
She also has these nudity riders and all this other shit.
Well,
like,
that's
she's
all
being
standard
proactive
for the case, but I'm talking about the things that she did that aren't a part of, collective bargaining agreements.
Okay. Okay. Let me see where I'm at. On or around June 1st, you had a meeting in Miss Lively's trailer. She said, "That's what it looks like. I did not remember it. Do you recall who was at that meeting?" She said, I don't, but I assume me, Jamie, Justin, and Blake.
It's not going to matter because she can't remember.
Question, does this message you sent that Miss Lively called out Jamie and Justin in front of you refresh your recollection that you, Jamie, Justin, and Miss Lively had a meeting on June 1st? She says, it does a little, but we had so many meetings over the course of that shoot that I'm not certain I remember the exact one. So do you remember a discussion of the meeting, but not necessarily where it took place? She said, no. Do you remember a situation in which Miss Lively called out Mr. Heath and Mr. Baldoni in front of you? She said, now I'm remembering, but I don't remember many of the specifics, but I think I remember that this was in her trailer. What do you remember about what Miss Lively said during that meeting? She goes, Alex Sachs says, very little other than what I wrote. All I remember is her leaning against one side of the trailer. I think I was opposite her. Maybe Justin was there and maybe Jamie was there. And I do remember, now that I'm reading it, that I don't remember the specifics of even what she said. I would have to keep reading, but that she was very direct but professional. And that was it. Let me see if this continues.
Yeah, listen, it's an obviously uncomfortable conversation. So it's not like she's going to be like, hey guys, let's sit down and have a little chinny wag. She's going to be like, look, dude, this is some serious stuff. We got to talk about it. But it's not berating and it's not like, threatening. It's professional. So
2 minutes later, she writes another text. She says, he did try to clarify that he thought Justin told her about it. And Miss Giannetti responds, this is the wife photo? Do you see that? She said, I do. Do you recall Miss Lively raising to you, Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath, that she was uncomfortable with Mr. Heath showing her a video of his nude wife? Yes. And I believe it was in this meeting she brought up that she had been shown a video of Jamie's wife giving birth.
Come the fuck on.
Question. And did you understand Mr.
Who
Heath's...
does that? Yeah. Normalizing that is the weirdest thing that people are doing in this. I don't
I
know
was
how
like,
anybody
all
can
these
fucking
people-
normalize that.
I'm like, who raised you?
Who the fuck raised you? That is just out of control.
Were you born in the woods?
You
I don't
fucking-
understand.
You've got Justin Baldoni admitting to talking about his circumcised penis.
Civil society does
with
not
Blake
operate
Lively.
this way.
And his reason for that is so that he could advise her on circumcising her own son's penis.
A baby.
A baby.
Yeah, they're talking about a baby. Why are you talking about a baby?
And this guy brings up a
my God.
birthing video. It's like, listen, man. Okay, maybe the Baha'i faith people tell everything. You guys probably all have cameras in your house or something. You just share every fucking minute with each other. But maybe the rest of the world doesn't.
You know what's really interesting though is the way that
and I'm not picking on a religion. I'm just saying.
No, the way that it's framed makes it seem, the way that the situation is explained, where they're like, no, it's fine. He was talking about her baby. It just makes it seem like she said, I'm having a baby boy, because she's pregnant during the meeting.
Yeah.
She said, I'm having a baby boy, and that he was like, oh, baby boy, penis.
Yeah, one of his first thoughts was about the
his
the
word
child's
association in his
penis.
mind was like baby boy penis.
Because
I'm going to tell her about
here's
baby
the thing,
penises.
Justin Baldoni, he everything's a mission for Justin Baldoni. So he had a successful circumcision, so he wants to endorse, genital mutilation to a mother.
I don't fucking understand how his fucking brain works. Oh my
And
Lord.
I'm kidding about that, Bobo. I'm just saying. Bobo's like, it's no fun when it comes to your own kid. And I'm like, I bet. I actually went to a breast once, believe it or not.
Why are we having this conversation?
Well, because you brought it up.
The whole point is that this is not the kind of
Maybe I brought it
conversation that people have. Okay.
Yeah. It is definitely not a group conversation. Let's not talk about circumcision.
Question. So do you recall Miss Lively raising to you, Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath, that she was uncomfortable with Mr. Heath showing her a video of his nude wife? And, Alex Sachs says, yes, and I believe it was in this meeting she brought up that she had been shown a video of Jamie's wife giving birth. And the question, and did you understand Mr. Heath's wife to be nude in that video? She said, yes. Did you ever watch the video? She said, no. Did you understand that Miss Lively was uncomfortable with being shown a video of her boss's wife giving birth nude? Alex X says, I believe she shared that at the time. Did you think it was appropriate for Mr. Heath to show Miss Lively a video of his wife giving birth nude? No. Do you want your boss to show you a video of his wife giving birth nude? And of course that gets an objection. She says, no. Okay, they're going back to the text. You wrote, and she's reading, he did try to clarify that he thought Justin told her about it. Did you mean that Mr. Heath tried to clarify that he showed Miss Lively a video of his nude wife because Justin asked him to? Because that's their story, right?
It is their story.
They didn't ask her. They asked each other, okay?
Like, Justin gave me permission.
Justin gave me permission to show this to
Justin, our Lord
yes.
and our Savior,
I know, it's unbelievable.
said, show her your wife
Dude.
giving birth.
Okay, the answer to that question is, I believe he was trying to clarify that he thought Justin had told her this is what the video is and that she had wanted to see it. Question, Mr. Heath thought Miss Lively wanted to see, then she stops. Mr. Heath said to you something to the effect that he thought Miss Lively wanted to see a video of his nude wife.
You know you wanted it.
His nude wife is the way
you want this.
The lawyer puts it. That she wanted to see a video of his nude wife.
Yeah, that's a great way to put
it. Alex Sachs says, that's what it sounded like in the room just from what I'm reading. I don't remember. Okay. And then 1 minute later, she writes in the text message.
She wanted it.
Yes, and there were other comments. As you sit here, do you have a recollection of what other comments Miss Lively raised concerns about during the meeting with you, Mr. Heath, and Mr. Baldoni? She said, I don't. 4 minutes later, she texts this, in quotes, the other piece was that she was like, you, Jamie, make jokes about how you can't make eye contact with people anymore, as if to undermine and lessen the importance of people not wanting to be comfy / cozy on set. Do you see that? Yes.
Every time you say, do you see that? I'm like, me?
No, she's asking the witness if
Yes,
she's
of
seeing
course,
this,
of course,
what's on the
of
paper,
course. I
which
love
is their
it.
text messages. Question: Do you recall Miss Lively sharing? Sorry, what do you recall Miss Lively sharing with regard to that statement? Alex Sachs says there was a lot of hugging and touching amidst the Wayfarer team. It's just seemingly sort of how they do business. And
Did you just cup my what? Did you?
Did you just cut my nuts?
What is going on here? This is. How am I supposed to react?
Did you just do one of these under my boob?
What is that? Did you just flop my boob? Well, we do this in the Baha'i faith.
We just flop
boobs for fun. It's totally harmless. This is a sign of affection. You don't know, but it is.
It's so ridiculous.
So yes, but the truth is,
I mean, obviously, it sounds like we're being super mean because they're just talking about hugging and touching.
But they aren't.
Patting each other's shoulders.
Here's the thing, because it's when she says hugging and touching, we know. I think I know what she's talking about because they showed some of that. There was that moment when he hugged this guy. They were doing a bunch of hugs.
Yes.
Let me finish.
And also, like, when they're talking to somebody, he'll put his arm on their shoulder and like stroke his shoulder while he's talking to somebody.
That is not acceptable to me. But this guy, he rubbed his back, and it was so intimate. Mm-hmm. It was like deeply intimate. And I'm sure that their intention is loving, caring, as their religion sort of, expects of them, I suppose.
It's just like they.
But it's an invasive. It's an invasion of somebody's personal space.
It's just like these guys went to work on like at Burning Man or something. Like there's just like a weird kind of like. I don't know, man. Some yoga teacher types are this way too, where they're just like they'll greet the namaste or like some, and they'll just be like super like lovey and open, and it's great for them. I'm really glad that they have that loving and peace connectedness in their life. But it's just if they're getting a pushback from anybody on set that says, "Hey, man, maybe we could have a little less of this in the work environment," they should really be accommodating that because they're really trying to get a job done and do it professionally. So it doesn't really matter how they all hang out with each other. Like, this is a fucking workplace. Are you with me?
Yeah, just let me say something. I just want to say about the moderating. Let's make sure that we don't like shut Baldoni fans out. Let them speak on the chat unless they're belligerent.
Yeah,
let them talk.
If they're being mean, I guess.
Yeah, don't let them be mean, but let them talk. Like let them have a voice and engage with them. This is our opportunity to. This is also an opportunity.
And also, I have so much to cover though, so we don't want to get derailed by the same arguments that we've been making for 6 months.
I'm not going to get into. We're not going to get into talking about old bullshit like they cast him in a basement because we've got way better shit to talk about.
Yeah,
because that was nonsense from the start.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, but just to finish is I just let people talk. Make sure you're only moderating people who are being belligerent, mean, name calling Angela names, calling me names. Any of that, we don't want to tolerate any of that stuff.
Yeah,
but let people have a voice.
When people are fighting with other people in the chat, like I want to make sure that whoever is hanging with us has a really nice time.
Yeah, and
isn't
Baldoni
getting
fans
bombarded by some
Baldoni fans. Like engage, have a conversation.
Right.
We know the facts as best as we can in our situation, and we'll do our best to represent them as truthfully as possible. And we're open to having a conversation if you think you have facts that support your guy. I haven't seen him, and this is just getting worse and worse as this goes on. But hey, man, we're open to talking about it. Go ahead.
Okay, so check this out. So just to resituate ourselves.
Yes.
The text message that the lawyer's asking.
I'm blown away by this testimony.
I know, isn't it great?
Her fucking deposition is out of control. Amazing.
I want to hire her tomorrow.
It is fantastic.
She sounds like she does a really good job. Okay. Alex Sachs wrote a text message to Ange Gianetti, and she is talking about the meeting that Blake Lively called in her trailer that Alex Sachs attended, okay?
Yeah.
So this last piece, the most recent piece she's asked about is the text message that reads, she says, the other piece was that she was like, you, Jamie, make jokes about how you can't make eye contact with people anymore, as if to undermine and lessen the importance of people not wanting to be comfy/cozy on set. Do you see that? And she said, yes. What do you recall Miss Lively sharing with regard to that statement? Alex Sachs says, there was a lot of hugging and touching amidst the Wayfarer team. It's just seemingly sort of how they do business and interact with each other.
This is the Baha'i set we're talking now.
Yeah, and it sounds like she was referring to how sometimes the guys would make jokes about how they couldn't do that, but not really that the joke would be, can't even make eye contact with people anymore. And she used that as an example.
Is what comics were saying about political correctness. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
right.
They got all upset because they couldn't be bigots anymore, and they
Yeah,
couldn't
right.
be fucking sexists anymore because people were sensitive to these things now.
But to diminish somebody's complaint was like, oh, I can't even look at you anymore. Yeah, because I asked you not to call me sexy. Like, what the fuck is your problem? Or I asked you not to fucking touch me while we're talking, you know?
By the way, if you're liking,
Let me just get through this.
let me do this real quick. If you're liking this live, sometimes when we get a lot of Baldoni fans, we get a lot of dislikes. So if you're liking the live and if you're enjoying the live, express that with that like button, because I have a sneaky suspicion that when this is over, we're going to see a lot of like dislikes with all the Baldoni fans coming aboard. And, they
It's
like
all
to,
they have anymore, Dale.
well, they just, it's unfortunately,
You gotta let them have that.
A lot of them engage in destructive thinking and destructive thoughts and hatred and really putrid kind of ideas, as opposed to just having,
Just thinking for one split second that maybe the guy's the problem.
or just being able to have a conversation without hating the person you're having a conversation with would be a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can talk to me, you can hang out here, and you don't have to hit my, the dislikes and be shitty because you and I disagree. We can disagree. You and I disagree on this live all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go and hang out, have pomegranates or popcorn, and watch a movie together.
Stewing.
And then,
Just resenting you.
spoon each other when we go to sleep. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Okay. Speaking of which, the answer is, okay, I'm going to try to get through this.
I understand. Hey, we got a live happening.
She says there's a lot of hugging and touching amidst the Wayfarer team. It's just seemingly sort of how they do business and interact with each other. And it sounds like she was referring to how sometimes the guys would make jokes about how they couldn't do that, but not really that the joke would be like, can't even make eye contact with people anymore. And so she used that as an example to say, everything is too comfortable on set. Can we make it more professional? Question. In your view, the comment that Miss Lively raised about Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath joking that you can't even make eye contact with people anymore, did you view that to undermine and lessen the importance of people wanting to be comfortable in the workplace? And the witness says yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just make sure
I am absolutely, completely impressed with this woman.
I know.
She just is so fucking, her answers are perfect.
Question. Do you think it was appropriate for the two men in charge of the production to joke about not being able to make eye contact with people because of HR? Alex Sachs says, is asking for a repeat of the question. Did you think it was appropriate for two men in charge of the production to joke about not being able to make eye contact with people anymore? She said, no. Why not? Alex Sachs says, because that's not how a workplace or the leaders of a workplace should operate. They shouldn't be making light of the behavior that makes their employees uncomfortable.
For sure.
And in your view, question, in your view, Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath were making light of behavior that made people uncomfortable in their workplace. And she says, through that joke. And Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath were making light of concerns raised about their own behavior. Alex Sachs says, it reads more general to me that just you can't do anything in the workplace anymore and not get in trouble than maybe more reflective of their own behavior. Question. In your view, does that kind of comment create an environment in which employees would be comfortable coming forward with concerns about the behavior of their bosses? There's objections.
I object.
Okay, she's restating. In your view, does a comment, joke, about how you can't make eye contact with people anymore create an environment in which employees would feel comfortable coming forward with concerns about the workplace? Alex Sachs says, it does not make employees feel comfortable.
It's so interesting because she's not willing to like totally commit to the answer that they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she can't. And it's kind of logical because they're asking her to basically think for somebody else ultimately. It's pretty cool.
Do you recall during the meeting with Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, and Miss Lively that Miss Lively also raised issues with Mr. Baldoni coming into her trailer uninvited? Alex Sachs says, only because I'm reading it here. And they're referring to, and they start to read it at 9:43 a.m. So this is like within minutes of the last text. You wrote Miss Gianetti. So she's just sending her a bunch of text messages where she's reporting. Writing. Alex Sachs is reporting to Ange Gianetti at Sony about the meeting that she just witnessed. Okay. So they're reading this text message that is in quote. And then she also mentioned that I guess on day 2, Jamie went into Blake's trailer. And she was like, oh, actually, I'm getting body makeup done. Well, you can come in if you don't look. And apparently he was looking in her direction the entire conversation when she turned around. And the lawyer's asking, do you see that? She said, yes. What do you recall Miss Lively sharing with regard to that incident? And Alex Sachs says, nothing more than what you just read. So do you recall Miss Lively sharing with you that Mr. Heath had barged into her trailer while she was undressed? She said, I don't recall. Do you recall Miss Lively sharing whether she had clothes on at the time? She said, I don't recall, but if I'm saying she was getting body makeup done, then she wouldn't have clothes on. And to your understanding, when Miss Lively was getting body makeup done or removed, was she generally topless?
She just said
there's objections.
She didn't have fucking clothes on.
She said, I don't actually know.
It's so weird because she already answered. That's one of the objections should be asked and answered. You know, she already answered that.
Yeah. Okay. Do you believe she might have been? Correct. Might have been topless. Do you have a recollection of Miss Lively specifically sharing that she was in some state of undress at the time Mr. Heath came into her trailer uninvited? Her answer is, I don't remember outside of reading this. Do you have an understanding why Miss Lively would say, you can come in but don't look, if she was wearing clothes at the time? Alex Sachs says, likely because she knew the conversation was important and she was professional and probably wanted to discuss whatever needed to be discussed. Did Miss Lively share with you that when Mr. Heath attempted to enter her trailer, she and her team yelled, no, 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 don't come in? She said, I don't remember. Question, do you recall Miss Lively sharing that Mr. Heath had insisted on having a meeting with her when he entered her trailer? She said, I don't remember. Do you recall, should I continue with these don't remembers? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you recall Miss Lively?
Well, the questions are important. They're very interesting.
They're informative, right?
Yeah.
Do you recall Miss Lively conveying that she was uncomfortable with Mr. Heath looking at her while she was getting her makeup undone or done? I don't remember. Miss Giannetti responded to your text with regard to Mr. Heath entering Blake's trailer and said, not good. And you responded, nope. Do you see that? Correct. What do you remember being not good about the situation in which Mr. Heath entered Miss Lively's trailer? Alex Sachs says that he was looking at her getting body makeup done when she asked him not to. And was it your understanding that Miss Lively was uncomfortable with that? That is what I perceived. Was Miss Lively doing something, or she's striking this. Okay, did Miss Lively recount this story to you in a way that you perceived in a specific way that made you perceive she was uncomfortable? And they're objecting to the form. Not that I recall, she said. Okay, question. What was your reaction to hearing that Mr. Heath had entered Miss Lively's trailer uninvited and looked at her while she was getting her makeup done, her body makeup done? Alex X said, I would imagine, I don't recall exactly, but I would imagine uncomfortable like I am rereading it now. You're uncomfortable even rereading it now? She said, yes. Why? Because I don't like that it happened. Why not? Because it's not appropriate for the workplace. Why is it inappropriate for the workplace for Mr. Heath to go into Miss Lively's trailer and look at her while she's getting her body makeup done?
Dude.
The lawyers are like, say it.
Just say it.
And it cuts off, so we don't get to see her response until 2 pages later.
How many? What's the page count on this? Like, where are we?
There's plenty. I mean, I can stop. We can go do something else.
Well, I'm not saying we should do something else, but maybe we should get into the chat. We haven't talked to our folks.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's nice to hear from them.
It's a good stopping place anyway because they pick up again.
Great. Let's get into the chat a little bit.
Lawyers are
and yeah, like as far as moderation goes, just one more point about that. I just want to make sure that let people talk. And there's a couple people who had their things, their comments held back that maybe we could have heard them. Okay, go ahead, babe.
Feltbobbling said that point about getting footage might come back to bite Baldoni when it comes to the amount of footage he wanted while in the bar and dance scene. Is this are we talking about the footage that he wanted to get? He wanted to get more shots in the restaurant when he had an outburst with Alex Sachs when they were filming at in the book it's called Bibs, but in the movie it's The Root. Was their location? Yeah, maybe.
Bibs isn't a great name.
It stands for Better in Boston.
It's a bad name.
But it's one of those things that Ryle finds out about how she had this long relationship, and it still means something to
bad name.
To Atlas. The names are so stupid. Hinata wanted to bring up that Justin Baldoni invited his cast and crew to Russian baths. We learned that today.
That today too. What is wrong with this human?
I had to look up what a Russian bath was, and I was so resentful of him for making me have to learn this.
I had a business partner funny because he was like a Hasidic Jew. Have you ever hung out or seen Hasidic Jews in terms of the way they what they wear?
Are those the guys with the traditional, like they keep their hair long on the
Yeah,
sides?
long beard, hair. They
Okay.
wear the black coat, like black jacket, black pants, white button-up shirt.
Yeah.
Sash. They have a sash, or they have a sash somewhere. And
Like tassels and shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything about them.
I was partnered with him on a hosting company back in the very early 2000s. And he used to like offer me a Korean bathhouse all the time.
Korean bathhouse.
Amazing.
What's the difference between all of these?
I don't know.
I'm a person, I have never enjoyed saunas because I feel really panicky and my heart starts beating fast and I'm just like, ugh, heat, gross, yuck, get me out of here. And I've also never enjoyed massages because I don't like people kneading my muscles. I'm like, get off me.
It was weird because
So I don't know what any of these things are. Yeah. Korean bathhouse, Russian bathhouse.
I got the best massage in my life at the Korean bathhouses. They're traditional Korean bathhouses. Yeah. It was a weird situation though, because this guy invites me. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it, whatever. We go there, and all of a sudden now, like, he's not my boss per se, because like he recruited me. I was a partner in the company. So we were partners technically speaking, but still there he was standing there naked. I'm like,
naked?
Yeah, because we're at a bathhouse.
Is that why he wanted to invite you?
I have no idea. But
I think this is
he
people...
was heterosexual, and I believe he was. Like, I don't believe he was gay. And he ended up actually.
Well, you can never know about a person until they invite you to a fucking bathhouse.
He's the one who actually introduced me to Ashtanga yoga and all this other stuff. But I'm only bringing it up because like this has actually happened to me.
Yeah, work invitations to bathhouses.
Yeah, it's happened to me once in my life, and it was a strange event, and I accepted.
I can't believe you went.
Yeah, it was weird.
So were you naked?
Yes.
Oh my god. Why?
Is
it not optional? You could have just left, You didn't have to go through with it.
Well, that would have been weird. And then I'm at this.
Oh, okay. That would have been weird.
It was all weird, but I was like, what kind of weird do I want to accept?
I'll do naked weird. That's the word I'll choose.
Well, I mean, it wasn't.
Not avoidant weird.
It was from a non-sexual standpoint. I would be much more weirded out. Like the guy that I was doing with he was my age at the time. I was like 30, he was like a middle-aged man. He had like 4 kids, whatever. That doesn't necessarily mean that he wasn't
exactly
a perv.
how they go.
But if it was Justin Baldoni, I think I'd be more intimidated by that. Also, if he was my boss, like this wasn't my boss, so I was like, all right, we're partners. We'll be
Well, so here's the thing about it being a boss is that you're like, anytime you're ever invited out by your boss, you're like, shit, is this mandatory? Like if I say no because I really don't want to go.
That's what I'm saying.
Like he's saying it's just an invitation, but if I say no, does that mean that like I'm now gonna not be considered for that promotion or whatever because I'm not a team player or some shit? And so I think that's probably what they were expecting with this like Russian bathhouse invitation. Is they're like, oh god damn it, like do we have to fucking hang out with this guy naked?
And my partner didn't know. Like my partner had no. My partner never offered any. We had a couple of employees. He never offered them to go to the bathhouse.
No, he just wanted to see you naked.
Yeah, I was pretty handsome.
Fucking weirdos.
Oh, no two trolls hit us up again. Thank you so much. You're just so generous. It's incredible. Thank you very much. 50 New Zealand dollars, Angela.
That's
pretty incredible.
Amazing.
Let me just heart that right now. Let me like that right now. You are so bloody kind to us. I'm glad you love the show. We work hard for it. We really do. We want to bring it.
We work hard for the life.
All right, you want to? Are we done yet?
No. I was just wanted to thank Hanada for burning my eyeballs with this suggestion about Justin Baldoni inviting cast and crew to Russian baths.
Yeah,
he's such a fucking weirdo.
Listen. This is what I think I get from it. He doesn't think he's a weirdo. He doesn't understand that he is, meaning like he can't even relate to the fact that he is a weirdo. Like this has to be it. How does this guy act so egregiously for so long and not pick up on the fucking vibes?
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously he's picking up on the vibes. People are straight up telling him,
Oh, my chat's not working. Oh, there it is now. Yeah, exactly.
South-facing lad is with us.
Okay.
Asked what part of providing appropriate housing makes you uncomfortable. So I guess this is about Jenny Slate was told by Jamie Heath that they spent a little bit more than maybe they would otherwise for her housing because they wanted to make sure that a new mother was cared for.
So Man Enough, the podcast Man Enough. They did an episode called Beneficent.
No, They did a talk on the episode wasn't about it, but they were just having a discussion where it was Jamie Heath and what's her name? The co-host. Liz Plank. And Justin Baldoni were talking about benevolent sexism.
All right, benevolent sexism. Thank you.
Yes.
So if
you want to learn all about it, they have a discussion.
Yeah, they have a discussion about benevolent sexism.
That was before this film shoot and before Jamie Heath said this.
And Jamie Heath in particular, it was him in particular who was really struggling with it.
Yeah.
He tried to understand the concept of like, how does being nice to a woman make me a sexist? Mm-hmm. And they explained it to him. And I remember because we watched this episode and I remember him getting it.
Yeah.
I remember going, oh, and I remember him being extremely thankful, in particular to Liz Plank, if my memory serves.
For teaching him.
Because all this time he'd been doing this benevolent sexism and not knowing that he was making women uncomfortable in the process.
Yeah, so like his example in the Man Enough podcast episode was that he was like, if you say like, oh, women are smarter than men, or like, I love to have women in leadership positions because they do everything better.
Yeah.
But
this falls in it categorically.
And Liz Plank was like, you have to understand that is also sexism, that if you're favoring women because they're women, that is gender-based bias towards or against somebody. She's like, we really do want to be treated equally. We really do not want to be singled out because of our gender, or in this case with Jenny Slate, because she's a new mother. She's like, I don't want you involved in my personal family.
Tale,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
She's like, I don't want you involved in my personal family business. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm here I'm working with you. We are in a working relationship.
Nobody asked.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is the problem with this fucking guy.
Right.
Is that nobody fucking asked. Nobody said, hey, I'm a mother. I'm a new mother, and I need some special privileges. Mm-hmm. Nobody asked Jamie Heath to show them a birthing video. Probably not even Justin Baldoni. And this is the problem with these guys.
Yeah.
They make these assumptions and they move forward with these assumptions. And what they end up doing is offending people and creating a toxic workplace. And while I guess it's surprising to some, it shouldn't be surprising to many that kind of behavior is, first of all, it also singles you out. The other thing it does is, and this is the weirdest part about but it could potentially put where people start resenting you.
Yes.
Because like, what the fuck? She gets this and I don't get that because she's got this.
Yeah.
Like it's imbalance. And the whole thing that you want to do when you're producing a movie, and really when you're running any kind of company, but in particular when you're producing a movie, because when you're producing a movie, you have a finite amount of time and a finite amount of money. And if those two things don't come together and work, you can end up losing all of it. So balance on a movie is such a major issue. I think it's major in every business and in every work environment, but it's particularly important in film because of the constraints, the time constraints, the money constraints. So that's why it's offensive. And Jenny Slate, it means that Jenny Slate is elevated, that she understands that. That is Jenny Slate being elevated and them being unaware. And their lack of awareness is their biggest problem, but it's also their lack of acknowledging their lack of awareness that exacerbates that to the point where we are today. Because when I am ignorant to something, I'm faced with it, my curiosity is triggered, not my ego. My ego does not get triggered in that situation. I am not worried about my shame. I'm worried about what I get to learn in the situation. I'm excited to grow. I already know I don't know everything, and I don't expect that I ever fucking will. I don't really want to. But the things that come to me that I get to learn, especially the things that I get to learn that help the people around me or the work that I'm creating, to elevate all of those things and to make those things great, man, I invite that stuff in with open arms. And these guys don't. They shut it down. They push it away. They actually retaliate when confronted with the fact that they have flaws, despite the fact that they put out this fucking goddamn propaganda about, oh, I'm not a perfect person.
Felbaumling said Baldoni fans making light of this stuff is just fans dealing with difficult news. Like, imagine your sports hero just got caught doping. They need to cope, especially since they've bought his story.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about that. The first thing that I do with I've had so many of my idols go down like everybody else. Bill Cosby was one of my biggest fucking comedy idols. When I was a kid, I used to listen to his records on a goddamn loop. He's quite possibly one of the reasons why I ended up becoming a stand-up comic in the first place. Because I actually, and I mean this, I used to say my parents had all the damn records. We had him and Foster Brooks. If you don't know who Foster Brooks is, look him up. He's a pretty funny comic too. From back in the day, he was a sober guy, he used to play a drunk guy. Anyway, I would listen to these. So when Bill Cosby got accused, my immediate gut reaction wasn't to side with Bill Cosby. My immediate reaction was, oh my God.
How did he trick us for so long?
Is he a monster?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, wow, the fucking two-facedness that you got to be that much of a fucking, of a repeat violent offender, and also have this like America's Favorite Dad fucking comedy career. I was like, that guy's a fucking demon.
Just a monster. And like,
like how?
It's absolutely crazy. So anyway, I've had to deal with, I've had to deal with my heroes falling constantly. It's happened time and again. And through that process, I've only learned to be more scrutinous of those accused and not siding with them. There's no way I would side with somebody accused immediately. That would be, my first reaction is, let me hear everything as much as I can,
yeah, right.
Possible, to see where this is credibly, but never be like, I don't believe it.
No, yeah, and check this out. Hanada's saying the same thing. Think about it. If Baldoni had investigated and concluded nothing egregious happened, Blake Lively would have had a much weaker case. Instead,
I've said this from the beginning. He should have written a fucking report.
Instead, he handed it to her on a platter.
He handed it to her on a platter. I've said this for a very long time. All you have to do is investigate it, and I mean, you're absolutely fucking right. All you have to do is create a record. We investigated the matter. We did not find any violation of our company policy. We are sorry that you were made to feel uncomfortable, and we've discussed with Mr. Baldoni. And if it's Mr. Baldoni writing it, then I have looked into the matter, and I don't believe that I have violated any of our company policy. However, I do understand and acknowledge that you are uncomfortable, and it is my job and responsibility to make sure that you do feel comfortable. So I'm glad that you brought this matter to my attention, and I will do everything I can moving forward to make sure that you are also feeling comfortable, even if it means stepping outside of our, or going deeper than our rules require, and so on.
Phil Baumling is writing fan fiction about Justin Baldoni in the bathhouse with his cast and crew.
Yeah.
Hey, I know few of you know this about me, but look, I've been circumcised. Only Blake knew this before.
All right, I guess I'm telling everybody now.
Jesus Christ.
It's so fucking...
No Two Troll says that Perez Hilton is now changing his opinion on Justin.
Really?
But he's so up and down.
Yeah, well, he's a little bipolar. I should probably not use that. It's probably inappropriate. He's all over the place for sure, though.
Cece said, they clearly didn't learn anything on their own podcast, which makes me think that podcast was a complete sham. Liz Plank skedaddled as soon as she could.
Yeah,
she was zip out the door.
She fucking knew. Hey,
listen, eat my dust.
The whole thing was a facade. Listen to me. This guy tried to create a facade that he was trying to reach men. He went on TED Women. That's where he went. And he got 50 million views on TED Women. Right. And you know what? In Hollywood, and in particular in television, you know exactly who likes you. They do a thing called Q rating. And in the Q rating, they break down your fan base because they get feedback from the public. Justin Baldoni knew exactly how, through his publicists, through their work on that TV show, that CW show that he had that I never know the name of because I would never watch it.
Jane the Virgin.
Jane the Virgin. So they knew that his demo was women.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing is a fucking facade. Man Enough wasn't made for men. It was made for women. He was trying to cater to women so that they would exalt him as a feminist. Dudes aren't going to go running to go see that guy. In order for him to get to men, he needed to be an athlete who then speaks out about this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He needed to be like if you want to see like a feminist in action when it comes to, look at Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Who?
This is a fucking great
Who
example.
never said a fucking word.
Yeah.
But assembled his entire team is led by women.
Yeah, this is the Eagles quarterback, right?
The Eagles quarterback who never doesn't come out and
his
screaming
entire
feminist. He just behaves.
Yeah, his entire team. So who's on his team? Like, what are the roles?
Oh, I don't know exactly what but there's going to be publicists.
His manager, his
business
agent.
manager.
Yeah.
There's going to be his agent.
Yeah.
They're all women.
Every one of them.
But you know what? You probably didn't know that. You know? And I found out of like a completely like obscure way. Like it wasn't, there was no publicity of it by him at all. He doesn't even talk about it ever, but he lives it. And Justin Baldoni didn't live it. Justin Baldoni made a facade out of it. He tried to make a living off of it. And then when you look at the way, and I don't care that 5 Feet Apart is a good movie. When you look at the accusation that he stole that premise away from a dying man, and worse, a dying gay man who wanted to write an LGBTQ, or who did write an LGBTQ movie about his incredibly difficult medical circumstance and his deep love for another man and how they couldn't be together. When you think about him, Justin Baldoni, then potentially preying upon these things, you understand that he is an exploiter. He is not a believer of anything. He exploits his religion.
Speaking of which, that's the next topic on this Alex Sachs deposition.
Let's do it then.
So the question is cut off, okay, because they're just picking up to talk about this next thing. Yeah. But the answer that I can see at the very end, at the tail end of that topic was, so Alex Sachs answers, the end of the question is Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's behavior. Okay, so yes. I don't know what the question is. But the answer is, I know that our first production designer said to me at one point that at the end of the first round of shooting, he felt like he was leaving a cult. This is the end. When you work on a Baha'i set, that's what it's like. He said, "Who was that?" And the answer is Russell Barnes.
I mean, it does sound like that. Like listening to Steve, and this is why I guess sometimes I feel a little like I get a little too snarky about Baha'i. But when you have the co-chair of the company calling it a Baha'i set, when you have their Wayfarer theater operating under Baha'i rules, you have a culty vibe.
Yeah.
I mean,
this next question, any other cast or crew members you were aware of having concerns about Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's behavior? She said specifically no, but in general, a lot of the crew felt the production was being run in a way that wasn't up to industry standard. What do you mean by up to industry standard? Alex Sachs says that they just did things a little differently. Yeah, which I think mostly was due to the inexperience. Are you aware of other cast or crew members feeling that Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath's behavior was inappropriate? And then it skips two pages. Okay, did you have an understanding why Mr. Hoover... Sorry, Mr. Hoover. Did you have an understanding why Miss Hoover would not say Mr. Baldoni's name at Book Bonanza? And I did not notice.
New information.
I did not notice that she maybe deliberately didn't say his name. Alex Sachs says, I believe at that point I was aware that Blake and Colleen had discussed basically all of what had happened to Blake on the film. Question, your understanding was that Miss Lively had discussed with Miss Hoover how she had been treated by Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath on the film? Correct. And her discomfort with that treatment? Yes. At 8:44, when you say, in quotes, they're going over text messages again, in quotes, neither of them would mention JB's name. Who else were you referring to other than Miss Hoover? And Alex Sachs says, I assume Blake. Is it your recollection that Miss Lively would also not say Mr. Baldoni's name at Book Bonanza? She said yes. If you would turn to Exhibit 11, do you see that in front of you? Let me just make sure.
It's so catty though. Like that's, it's just like, oh, I won't say his name.
I know.
I'll arrest you from.
I know.
It's like a. Well, Leo tried to do it with me. Like they took me out of all the pictures.
Well, listen, there's a really good reason for this. They're not saying their name. Could be because, they don't like him and they don't want to bring him into their party. But also, he's missing because he's in the hospital at this point. So he was intending to go to Book Bonanza, but he has been sick in the hospital. And he's telling his prayer group.
Wasn't it Colleen Hoover who infected his spine with something?
No, I know. Well, he's telling his prayer group that he was so stressed over Colleen Hoover that she put him in the hospital, which is such a fucking overdramatic fucking baby way to handle things, like a fucking tantrum kid. But what I think, there's a really good reason to not mention the missing director's name at Book Bonanza because people might wonder, where is he? Especially like the Book Bonanza crowd is like all, young and middle-aged women. And so if you've got this hot director who's playing the the Studley love interest in your movie or something and he hasn't shown up, but everybody else involved in the production has, it might make people feel like they're missing something. So that there's a genuine reason why they wouldn't mention his name, because they don't want to tease something that the audience can have.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anyway, this text message that she's going over at 2:19, Miss Giannetti says,
she says,
this is June 15th, 2024. Okay. So 2:19 PM, Miss Giannetti, which is the Sony producer, Ange Giannetti, says, call me. And later at 2:53, you write, she asked you, okay, question. This is a quote. Sorry. Did you get any details back then? And you respond, and she's quoting, Justin was very dismissive of her when she wanted to direct, and then used Jamie to try and manipulate her when he realized she could co-direct it after she got Daddy-O going. Do you see that?
What are we talking about?
This is a text message.
Okay.
So,
but what's she saying?
So Alex Sachs is responding to Ange Giannetti,
who
asked, did you get any details back then?
About?
And this is, Justin was very dismissive of her. I'm assuming that this is Christy Hall.
Oh, Christy Hall.
The screenwriter.
Okay. Who's also a producer.
Justin was very dismissive of her when she wanted to direct, and then used Jamie to try and manipulate her when he realized she could co-direct it after she got Daddy-O going. I don't know what Daddy-O is. It's not in caps. She's not capitalizing it like a name. She capitalizes, or at least the stenographer doesn't capitalize it.
You know, in Don's Plum, we had that guy named Cool Breeze.
Cool Breeze.
And his whole thing was, what's up, Daddy-O?
Yeah. Do you recall what this text was in reference to? And she says no, which is so disappointing. I'm so sorry I read all that. What the fuck? She's going to drill down here, though. Do you recall if you and Miss Giannetti had a conversation about concerns raised by Christy Hall with respect to Mr. Baldoni being dismissive of her? And this is what I learned this week, too, for the first time. They told Christy Hall from the beginning that she was going to be the director. Dale.
Yeah.
It was going to be the female gaze idea. It was going to be a Christy Hall directed movie. And Justin Baldoni took the job. Okay, listen.
This is shocking new material. Breaking new material.
Okay. She said, now I know what this is about. Question, what do you recall with respect to Miss Hall's concerns, if any, about Mr. Baldoni? Alex Sachs says that, that initially he was dismissive of her wanting to direct. I don't remember much more than that. The lawyer's asking, 254, you write, and quotes, and then she felt like he tried to use her for cover with Blake and Colleen a bunch. Do you have an understanding of what you were referencing to here? And then Alex Sachs says, that she was the female writer, and he would say, that he wanted to give her the chance to write her way in, etc. Question, it was your impression that Miss Hall was concerned with Mr. Baldoni using her as cover with Blake Lively and Colleen Hoover with regard to the script? And she said, I guess so, which I'm surprised that nobody objected to her saying, I guess so.
Well, they would never make it to the stand. That's fucking incredible that, wow.
The next text message she's quoting, she just doesn't want to be associated with him/them.
And we're talking Chrissy?
Yes.
Christy
Hall. What is that in reference to? Alex Sachs says, that is that she didn't want to be associated with Justin and Wayfarer. Question, Miss Hall did not want to be associated with Mr. Baldoni or with Wayfarer?
This is just shocking.
She said, I believe so.
This is fucked up.
Did you know why? Alex Sachs says, I believe because of everything I wrote previously. Question, Miss Hall had shared with you that she did not want to be associated with Mr. Baldoni or Wayfarer. Did Miss Hall also share with you, as you expressed at 2:57 p.m. over text message, she didn't feel respected as a female voice on the team and on a movie like this that felt especially bad? Yes.
So this is a fucking so explosive to me.
I know.
I mean, what the fuck?
I told you so. So she's reading this text message, okay?
Holy shit.
At 2:59, Miss Giannetti writes, and she's quoting, just so many things stacking up people are so upset or pissed off about. I cannot believe how they just keep coming. And you respond, and she quotes, I think this is where narcissism is dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in reference to, is your comment regarding narcissism in reference to Mr. Baldoni? She said, yes. Did you believe
you can say whatever you want about me, man. But I've been calling like for real narcissism for a long time on this guy.
I know. I hate labeling people because I feel like
It
it's
is
too
what it
broadly
is, though.
used.
You got to look at the fucking situation and see what it is. And I'm not saying that
I think he's a fucking head case. But
I'm not, and I said at the time that I'm not capable of actually diagnosing
no,
Justin
I know.
Baldoni.
Check this out. She says, the lawyer asked, did you believe Mr. Baldoni to be a narcissist? And Alex Sachs says, as a non-physician, yes. Based on what? All the behavior I had witnessed for the preceding year and a half. She's working with him every day. Earlier in the deposition, she clarifies she was on set every single day. She missed one day because she had to be at a premiere of another project she was working at. But she was there every single day.
So
she knows
it's
him.
not a fumble. Like I kept talking about how these guys fumbled the biggest thing in the world. These guys are incapable of behaving like a normal fucking producer would.
Yeah. And was it your experience that so many things kept stacking up that people were upset or pissed about with respect to Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's behavior? So she's asking her to repeat the first part. Here's the question again.
It is so much worse for them than I thought. Like I knew that she was going to fucking knock this guy like out. I knew it was going to happen. I had no idea.
I know.
That it was so pervasive is amazing.
It just destroys the argument that Blake Lively turned everybody against Justin Baldoni.
Didn't happen.
They had their own experiences with him.
Oh my God.
And didn't want to walk with him on the red carpet because of what he did with each of them.
I'm just thinking about like Signor screaming and telling me about like how evil Blake Lively is.
No, man, she's just sticking up for other people.
Like, yeah, you guys, man.
Okay, and this next question. And was it your experience that so many things kept stacking up that people were upset or pissed about with respect to Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's behavior? She's asking for a repeat. Was it your experience that so many things kept stacking up that people were upset or pissed about with respect to Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath's behavior? And she says, yeah. She's tired. Okay, next text message she's going over. At 3:01, you write, and she's quoting, "It's only when Jamie / this isn't fair nonsense and revisionist history comes up that I'm like, come on, guys. What do you mean by Jamie / this isn't fair nonsense and revisionist history?" Alex Sachs says,
I literally like it triggered when you say revisionist history, it triggers me. I am triggered by that.
It is the most agonizing thing to be involved with somebody where you're trying to confront
That's not
them.
what happened. Yes,
confront them on behavior that you both experienced, and they're like,
they know
gaslighting.
Like they know what happened.
She's describing gaslighting.
I've been through it so many times you would not believe.
She said,
"Oh my God, Lisa Timms is here. What's up?
Oh, sweet.
So good to see you."
We're in the weeds. She's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, we're deep in the weeds. That's so great to see Lisa back. That's so fucking great.
Okay, so what do you mean by Jamie / this isn't fair nonsense and revisionist history? Alex Sachs responds, "I would assume it's the we didn't do anything wrong as opposed to remembering what happened." Question, it was Mr. Heath and Mr. Baldoni's attitude that they didn't do anything wrong that you were referring to as revisionist history? She says, "I believe so." So she's reading the next text messages. She says, the lawyer says, "You write," and she's quoting, "Him and Jamie have a way of making women feel like shit." Did you hear that?
I can't believe it, man. I mean, I do believe it. They're so, but this is why I think they're so delusional because they don't see themselves this way.
Him and Jamie have a way of making women feel like shit. And Alex Sachs says, and some men, yes. Question, was it your experience that Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath had a way of making women on the set feel like shit? Answer, the couple that came to me that we've talked about and myself, yes. Question, and you felt like it was deep because Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath wrote the checks? Yes. And it was deep for you. I don't know if they're referring to something she said previously. I don't know why she's saying deep. It's not like lawyer speak, right?
No.
I'm surprised she's not getting objections.
No, that sounds like she's quoting.
And it was deep for you because Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath wrote the checks, right? She said, yes. And they made you feel like shit? She said, yes. If you go down to the message at 3:03 p.m., you write, and she's quoting, I remember you calling me around 2 one night being like, what the fuck? Because so much of it was these minuscule microaggressions. Was it your experience that Mr. Heath and Mr. Baldoni continued to engage in microaggressions during the second stage of filming? And Alex Sachs says, from what I remember, it was much better on the second round, but I will be honest, I don't remember with great specificity. Next text message, she's quoting, do you remember when I called Andy Davis a few weeks in and was like, Andy, he's inviting the department heads to go to the Russian baths with him. What is that in reference to? So Alex X says, at the beginning of prep, Justin was going to a Russian bath in New Jersey for relaxation and was very excited about it. He came into one of our scout vans and said that he wanted to bring everyone with him at some point. He's just a kid.
He's
dude.
a child.
Do you think it was appropriate for Mr. Baldoni to invite cast and crew to Russian baths with him? Alex X says, I didn't, but that's why I called Andy Davis to confirm. You did not think it was appropriate? Alex X says, I didn't, but I wanted to call him to confirm, and then I spoke to Jamie about it.
Hey, should the boss be taking people to a bathhouse?
Hey, Jamie, what do you think about
employees? I mean,
he's like, yeah, it's good, man. Get
Jamie,
your sweat on,
dude. Yeah, are you kidding me? He should maybe give one of the guys a massage.
You should go and get.
He's really good.
You should go and get in the bath. You should relax.
You know what you need?
Maybe you should smile more.
I think you need a Russian bathhouse, baby.
Maybe then you'd smile more.
You look really good in a robe.
Question: and did Mr. Davis confirm that
Sexy.
Mr. Baldoni invited cast and crew to Russian baths with him was in fact not appropriate behavior in the workplace? She said correct.
Of course not. Come on. How many jobs have you had in your life where you're like, hey, you want to go to a bathhouse? And
not enough. I'll tell you that right now. I might have stayed at those companies. Question: what did Jamie say when you raised to him that Mr. Baldoni had invited cast and crew to the Russian baths with him? Alex Sachs is like, I cannot believe this is my fucking job. Can these people just... Alex Sachs says,
movie. We're making a fucking movie.
I know. This is a multi-million-dollar operation, and you guys are fucking ruining
look,
it.
There's a kumbaya feeling, and you get this like camaraderie, this familial sort of environment and, love for people because you're on this, like they're high-end adventures when you're making a movie. But in the end, it's just a job.
Yeah. What did Jamie say when you raised to him that Mr. Baldoni had invited cast and crew to the Russian baths with him? She said, I don't remember if he said it was appropriate or inappropriate, but he said he would talk to Justin, and I believe he did.
What's up, Justin?
The next text message
Justin,
that they're going.
Yes, you can't take the employees to a bathhouse. Why? Why not?
But it's so relaxing.
They can wear shorts. I don't, but they can.
Okay, the next text message. At 3:06, Miss Gianetti wrote, and she's quoting, everybody has something weird, uncomfortable, and bad to say. Do you see that?
This is what Gianetti quoted?
Yes.
This is a Gianetti quote.
Yes, and Gianetti said, everybody has something weird, uncomfortable, and bad to say.
It must be Blake Lively who caused all that.
Yeah, so your experience that everybody had something weird, uncomfortable, and bad to say with respect to Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath on set. And Alex Sachs says, I didn't talk to everyone about it, but the people that I did, yes. Is it fair to say most people? She said yes. Around the time of Book Bonanza, did you come to understand that certain cast and crew did not want to appear in press and promotion with Mr. Baldoni? Yes. Who? I don't remember exactly, but I want to say everyone except Hassan.
I don't remember exactly, but everyone. But I'm just going to guess because that's pretty much everyone.
But Hassan was cool with him. I don't... Okay, would that have been Miss Lively, Miss Slate, Miss Ferrer, Mr. Sklenar, Miss Hoover, who did not, and Miss Hall, who did not want to appear in press or promotion with Mr. Baldoni? She said correct. Did you have an understanding as to why those individuals did not want to appear in press or promotion with Mr. Baldoni? Alex Sachs says, I believe because of everything that had transpired or what they had heard had transpired. Question: you believed that Miss Lively did not want to appear in press or promotion with Mr. Baldoni because of what she perceived to be inappropriate and uncomfortable behavior by Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath on set? She said that was my assumption. Same for Miss Slate? Yes. Okay, it skips. Anything in the chat?
All this?
Yeah.
They're all there's lots going on, but keep going.
Okay. So this next question. She's reading the next texts. At 7:35, you write to the group, and she's quoting, they all hate him. Who is that in reference to? Alex Sachs says, oh, I assume Blake, Brandon, and
Hitler.
No. I assume Blake, Brandon, and Isabella. Question: during Book Bonanza was a
Isabella Ferrar.
Yep.
Who wrote the beautiful lament? The
yes,
beautiful
the thank you at the end. Question: during Book Bonanza was a cut of the film screened. Yes. And did the audience have a huge reaction? Yeah. Standing ovations? Alex Sack says, yes, from what I remember. Question, if you turn please to your message at 11:18 p.m., it'll be on the next page. You write, in quotes, strongest cut thus far. Do you see that? Let me see if this is, okay. Was it your opinion that the cut screened at Book Bonanza was the strongest cut of the film that you had seen so far? And she says, yes. And was that the cut created by Miss Lively? She says, I actually don't remember. Do you have any reason to believe that it was the cut of the film that was created by Mr. Baldoni? Alex Sachs says, I don't think so because of the date. Why are you crying?
Ladies and gentlemen, forgive us for this interruption.
We have a crying dog.
We can't, I'm not your huckleberry.
I know. She's just bored. She's like, you guys have been talking for like 2 hours.
She's like, oh, the same thing over and over again. How many times can you say Baldoni in one day?
She tried your luck and now she's coming over to me.
She's like, how about you? Will you stop talking about this shit?
Okay. And that was the cut screened by Miss Lively. She said, I actually don't remember. Do you have any reason to believe that it was the cut of the film at Book Bonanza that was created by Mr. Baldoni? I don't think so because of the date. Was Mr. Baldoni at Book Bonanza? She said no. Miss Lively was, though, right? She said correct. If you could turn to Exhibit 11, do you recognize this document as a text chain between you and Miss Lively on June 15th to 16th, 2024? She said yes. If you turn, please, to your text at 3:04, and let me see if this continues. Yeah, okay. In the middle of the passage, in the middle of the message, you write, and this is a quote, the cut is excellent, all in caps. The cut is excellent. Like I said, the best thus far. Truly beautiful. Beautiful work, Blake. I think this last leg of the journey is going to be really sweet for everyone, and that's because of you. Colleen might be the mother, but you're the fucking fairy godmother for everyone. I am always at your disposal for whatever you need, creatively or otherwise. I'm incredibly proud of this film. Does that text refresh your recollection with respect to whether the cut screened at Book Bonanza was the cut that Miss Lively created? She said yes. Do you recall that in connection with releasing the film, Wayfarer had compiled or developed a companion book? Yes. This is the next topic where they apparently had they were making a coffee table book, but Colleen Hoover hadn't approved it, so she had to squash it. And so that was a big... When everybody talks about Blake Lively being difficult to work with, you have Colleen Hoover having to constantly fucking whack-a-mole these guys because they're doing all of this other stuff with her property that she never approved of. So she heard about there being a coffee table book that they were going to put out. And she was like, I never fucking approved this. You can't just do that with my IP, you know? You know what I mean?
So I'll tell you exactly. Well, I'll tell you what's interesting about all this is that earlier we learned that Sony, they felt like their wings had been, well, not their wings had been clipped, but they were just not incapable due to the sort of, the hierarchy of everything, right? Wayfarer owned the property. They had control of the creative property. They also had control of the production. It was not their production. And we know this was also true because we know that Blake Lively went and complained to Sony because her complaints were being heard for Wayfarer, and Sony deferred back to Wayfarer. Well, what makes this so important is because we're talking about the cut rate now. And what we learned, and this is somewhat surprising, but that Justin Baldoni did have a director's cut clause in his contract. Here's what's interesting about that. The studio, or not the studio in this case, but the distributor, which would be Sony, they ultimately retain cut rights due to marketing.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting is that so Justin Baldoni, while he had this clause, Sony had this leverage. And the leverage, of course, is that they're the one marketing the movie. So it's just very interesting because it doesn't matter when you looked at the tests, because everyone's talking about, this goes to the, Blake's cut was tested less. It was like 4.8 versus 4.3 or something.
Also, if you read Justin Baldoni's description of why the test even occurred in the first place, what he was trying to win over and what he got Sony to agree to is that if his cut tested higher, he would get to complete it. It said nothing about who was going to distribute. I mean, the theatrical cut, which film was going to be the theatrical cut. It didn't say anything. It was about whether Justin Baldoni was going to get more time in the editing room. Right? That was it, according to him. So all this other stuff about how her cut tested higher, so that was the one that was supposed to be
Trolls,
released.
thank you for everything. No True Trolls is leaving. Thank you so much. Thank you for that super chat. You're so kind to us. Wish you could stay for the whole one. We're back tomorrow, 6 p.m.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, go ahead.
Bringing you more bullshit.
Bringing you more bullshit from the Baldoni tribe.
Okay, should I continue?
Please do. Where are we? Yeah, we got time.
We didn't go over what we plan to go over today.
Well, isn't that always the case? I mean, it's not like we even got that. I mean, you've been doing most of the reading. Like, we haven't even been that deeply interactive. You know, a little
So this
bit.
is where she's talking with
Little
other
bit.
producers about their PG rating, PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
Do you care about this?
No. Well, no.
Okay. Here's
Yeah.
what I'm
Austin
going to
just
do.
showed up. What's up, Boston?
Is I'm going to look over the stuff and see whether there's anything else worth reading on this for tomorrow.
Do you want to?
But what I do want to read to you guys, one thing that I saved that I'm super excited about. This is going to be like a little teaser of tomorrow.
This is a teaser for tomorrow. Okay.
This is part of Blake Lively's motion in opposition to the summary judgment. This is just one section, okay? She's making the point. Is it okay if I pivot to this?
Yeah.
Okay. Blake Lively's attorneys are making the point that Wayfair and Baldoni's self-proclaimed feminist image cracks as they foster a hostile work environment for women. And so this is in reference to all of the evidence that they have to support this, okay?
Okay.
First, on the very first day of filming, so this part is redacted. And then Baldoni and Heath marginalize and mistreat women based on gender. Okay. Alex Sachs recalled Baldoni consistently yelling at her and exhibiting rageful yelling or interrupting reactions when she spoke with him. Okay. This is a quote. And do you think that Mr. Baldoni being curt with you that it was gender bias? Is that what you're telling us? And the witness says, I don't know, honestly, but I want to clarify. It wasn't just him being curt. It was usually the opposite of that. It was usually that it provoked a sort of rageful yelling or interrupted reaction was the quote. Question. Did you observe Mr. Baldoni becoming physically intimidating with a man on set or in connection with the film? Answer. Not that I recall. Did you ever observe Mr. Baldoni yell at a man in connection with the film? She said, not that I can remember. In January 2023, Baldoni yelled at Sachs during a Zoom with other film leaders, raising his voice to her during a discussion about the script. Baldoni did not go to New Jersey to begin production until March 2023 and was presumably in California at this time, where he resided and where Wayfair was headquartered. Because that's another thing that they have to prove in their opposition to motion for summary judgment. Wayfair is trying to wiggle out of their California jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
And Baldoni's attorneys have very cleverly said that it is a little too late for that because they had all of these opportunities to contest the California law and they haven't until just now.
Yeah.
So they have been riding on this California law.
On the other hand.
Yeah, right. They even tried to get her sue her for retaliation, which is the California law and not the New York law.
Yeah,
so they're like, it's a little fucking rich.
Second thoughts all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly.
That treble damages was a real like shocker. Hey, and then Brian Friedman's like,
I know, exactly.
know.
Like her lawyers had never heard of it. But the not only did they sign a contract that says that any conflicts that they have, like legal issues that they have, would be settled under California law. So they have a contract that says this, that apparently Wayfair is hoping that the judge doesn't notice. But also they have jurisdiction because all of the meetings in the pre-production before Justin Baldoni traveled to New Jersey were done where he was in California. Anyway.
Evidence.
In January 2023.
Just think about before you continue. Just think about think about the stupid fucking timeline that they put up on that website. Like the embarrassment that is now. When you think about like the scope and the depth of things that we're hearing, the true evidence of this dispute
so
that we haven't even
much
got.
off.
I mean, there is so much. There's 200 and some odd pages in the.
I can't believe I had never heard that Alex Sachs existed and that she was actually verbally berated. And that he slammed his hands down and yelled her name right next to her.
Cannot believe it. And also that she asked for Jamie Heath and Justin Baldoni to be removed from the film.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's so fucking major. And we're talking about a seasoned producer here. I remember seeing her credit when we watched the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I thought it was a dude.
Yeah, me too. On February 18th, 2023, Baldoni yelled at Sachs during another Zoom meeting. Baldoni sent Sachs an email the next day acknowledging that it was not okay for me to interrupt you and then mansplain, and that he had been trying very hard to not interrupt the women in his life. Baldoni promised to make sure that interrupting doesn't happen again to any of the women involved in the film. On set in June of 2023, Baldoni came up behind the monitor where Sachs was sitting, yelled and then slammed his hands on the director's chair next to her and stormed away. Sachs felt physically intimidated by Baldoni.
That is fucked up,
I know.
dude.
Sachs,
It's one thing to do that shit with a dude. But to be a big, powerful guy, he's a tall dude. He is a muscular guy.
Yeah.
You know? Come on, bro. And he's bitching about his back. There he is, like, behaving like that.
Yeah, maybe you ought to take it easy, man.
Buddy. You know, maybe that's the... by the way, stress is one of the big causes for, you know, breaking down the immune system of the spinal cord and causing that
yeah.
infection.
Was Colleen Hoover responsible for you fucking lashing out at your producer on set that day?
Fucking garbage.
It's your fucking problem,
I'm sorry,
man.
stress wasn't. It was herpes. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's also one of the causes was possible injections. So if he was getting cortisone injections to treat his sore back, which is a really, really common treatment, that's usually the first thing that these people do, right?
Yeah.
Then that could have introduced a bacteria that infected his spine.
Could have.
Okay, Sachs, who was seated in front of Heath and Giannetti and surrounded by several other crew members at the time, told Mr. Heath and Miss Giannetti that if Mr. Baldoni behaved that way again, she would walk off the movie. Sachs felt sidelined by Baldoni and Heath. That's another excerpt from the deposition that I'm reading. On June 15th, 2024, Sachs texted Giannetti about the film's screenwriter, Christy Hall, saying, Justin was very dismissive of her when she wanted to direct and then used Jamie to try and manipulate her. And then she felt like he tried to use her for cover with Lively and Hoover a bunch. And she didn't feel respect as a female voice on the team, and on a movie like this, that felt especially bad. Sachs went on, Christy Hall just doesn't want to be associated with him/them. Hoover was not involved in the script as it was written, and Wayfair did not send her dailies despite...
It's so funny that they try to... Sorry to interrupt you. It's just so funny that they try to like pit Blake against Hoover or against Hall.
Yeah.
Because of the stupid remark that she made in the E interview on the red carpet, and before Christy Hall even knew that Ryan Reynolds had any anything to do with that scene.
So she got sidelined from being the director after she was told that she was gonna,
and then marginalized by Blake Lively.
Exactly.
But Blake Lively. So I've been critical of Blake Lively for that because if I was producing, I'd have been like, that was fucking irresponsible.
No, she wrote an apology letter
and then hired her.
Yeah.
They ended up working together. They're like collaborating. So, it turned into, a friendship, basically a collaboration. Yeah.
Okay. Hoover was not involved in the script as it was written, and Wayfair did not send her dailies despite her executive producer title. So that is, she explains this in her depositions. So Colleen Hoover felt jilted that she wasn't involved in the script. And there's text messages with her. She's texting Justin Baldoni and complaining about how she's been kind of like exiled. And she was promised that she was going to be involved. And then she saw the script after it was already all done.
I just want to shout out really quick to Erica because she's 20 minutes behind and she's saying she can't believe Baldoni fans read this deposition and still support him. It really is it's the most incredible thing. I just wanted to give her a shout out just in case we missed talking to her because she's been, 2 times in it the whole time, and she's probably not going to catch up before we go. And we adore her so much, so I just wanted to acknowledge that. Go ahead, sorry.
Last one is Claire Ayub, who wrote and directed the film Empire Waste, which was produced by Wayfair, declared under oath that Baldoni was verbally abusive to her, and as a result, she banned him from the set and, in August 2024, refused to appear in press and publicity with Baldoni. So anyway, I just wanted to read that little section. And this is in her argument about how this should go to trial.
Yes.
That was all under the heading, Wayfair and Baldoni's self-proclaimed feminist image cracks as they foster a hostile work environment for women. That is a lot of women who have issues. They didn't even mention Jenny Slate in that.
Incredible.
Yeah. He's gonna run like a Shakespeare's theater where every role is just being played by men so that he can just hang out with men.
Or maybe he'll recognize that, again, like here's a guy who I think created an opportunity for himself using TED women. And when he created this opportunity for himself, he wanted to cash out on the best way that he could. And so he created this. And I want to say, like, I believe that he convinced himself in the same way that a cult. This is the thing, man. These guys are in these culty kind of states of mind, and when you are, bro, you convince yourself of shit that is not real.
Yeah.
That's why they're cults to begin with. So, this guy was able to convince himself that he was this feminist, and he did so by trying to put up this sort of humble front, this imperfect, struggling but aware man.
Somebody's barking in here.
I think it's our dog.
I'm trying to look this up.
Cosmic Urgency popped up and he said, "Hello, I just watched my YouTube 2025 recap, and you're my most viewed channel." Well, I've missed you, and I'm glad that you're coming in to say hello. And I hope that 25 has been fun since you've been with us, man. I know you have contributed greatly to our chat, and every time you're not here, we fucking miss you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm speaking for everyone comfortably. I'm glad to be on your most watched.
I wanted to bring this up. I had to look this up real quick.
Yeah.
You were talking about how it's like a cult behavior and how they never improve. Like Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath are never improving their behavior because they just keep like, it's this like feedback loop with them where they're like, oh, I confess that I did a bad thing and that makes me a good person. And I'm always working on doing better. And so I have done the work. Right. And so, but it just repeats because they're like, oh shit, I did a bad thing because I'm not actually changing my behavior. I'm only just now confessing about it. And that makes me a good person that I can recognize this and I'm going to try and do better in that. And so we're all done. So I had to look this up because I learned about this recently. It's called spiritual bypassing, where you bypass the actual therapeutic journey by doing the thing that spirituality allows you to do, which is to connect with the goodness of your nature. So it's like a very uncritical way of trying to work on yourself, but it gives you too much of a pass. So you're not actually doing any of the work. Spiritual bypassing.
The old confession booth, eh?
It was coined by the...
Is that basically it?
Yeah.
Like I go into the confession booth, I'm like, "Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned." They're like, "What'd you do?" "I murdered 13 people. I was really fucking angry."
Well, are you sorry about it?
Are you sorry? Yeah. Well, say 5 Hail Marys and 2 whatever. And out you go.
Brand
and
new.
I go fucking strolling, smoking a cigarette and going, that guy just pissed me off. Fuck, I killed another one.
It was coined by John Wellwood, who passed away in May of last year. He was a prominent psychotherapist and author in transpersonal psychology field. He coined the term spiritual bypassing, and this might be a good time to honor him. Okay. In his book, Toward a Psychology of Awakening, which was one of the textbooks during a doctoral program, this author who's a PhD is writing about it. This person's name is Diana Rabb, okay? Yeah. He defined spiritual bypassing as using spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep personal, emotional, unfinished business. It's to shore up a shaky sense of self or to belittle basic needs, feelings, and developmental tasks. The goal of such practices, he claims, was enlightenment. This practice might feel as if it's more and more prominent these days, at a time when there seems to be a great deal of unrest and uncertainty, and of course the writing is getting like this. The foundation of spiritual bypassing is basically avoidance and repression, and for some individuals, spirituality serves as a way to rise above or handle the shaky ground beneath. When spiritual practice is used to compensate for challenging traits such as a low self-esteem or social isolation or other emotional issues, they corrupt the actual use of spiritual practice. In other words, using these practices to cover up problems seems like an easy way out, as opposed to working on the actual issues and etiology of the challenges. And so I just feel like this is a lot of what we're seeing with these guys, where they're like constantly in their, like, Man Enough is like a therapy session. And they're always talking about these like tangled issues of like how to deal with undoing, being raised in toxic masculinity and trying to make sure that you're being an ally to women and all of this. And they talk about it all the time, but they're not actually doing the work. I don't know how much deeper you got to go because it seems like it comes easily to me, but these guys repeatedly cannot figure it out. That Jamie Heath is being so dismissive of HR complaints. And he's saying like, oh, it's like, I can't even fucking look at people anymore. Like, you're not getting it.
No.
I don't know why you don't get it, but you're not getting it. And it's really remarkable that these guys have spent literal years in the weeds, like talking about this, discussing it with each other, and they have learned nothing.
Nothing.
It's astonishing to me. But I think that's what it amounts to, is that Justin Baldoni will send a message to his whole prayer group, and he'll say things like, Blake Lively's accusing me of making it an unsafe environment for women. And his whole prayer group is like, "Oh man, that sucks. Like, but we're with you, and
We know how we see you hug the women.
God is on your side, and you're protected."
You hug every single one.
No, they don't even say that. They just say you're protected,
jokes.
and God is on your side. They don't actually ask him
a single critical
like,
question.
"Hey, what's up?" So she says you're making it an unsafe environment for women. What is she saying you're doing?
This by a confessed misogynist, by the way. Like, it's not like he hadn't written a book and done a seminar talking about and running a fucking podcast about how he struggles with believing women, treating women with equality, and listening to women when they say no. Like, these are things that he's admitted to. By the way, we have this person, Dime Beth, who said, Baldoni barely had any fans before this. And this is such an interesting statement because it goes back to what I was talking about before. It's true that he would have had a very small contingency of fans, relatively speaking, coming out of a show like CW, or from a network like CW, I should say, rather than say like being on something like a big Netflix show or, you know what I mean, a big streamer, or even one of the major networks like ABC, NBC, or Fox, these kinds of things, CBS. But what they do get out of the CW, which I spoke about a little bit earlier, but just to expound on it a little bit, is they understand who his audience is. And as soon as they understand who his audience is and what his appeal is, he's very easy to market at that point. At that point, it's just a matter of finding out where he can go and what to go out with.
I like to think about his career in the like at the point at which he decided to retaliate. Because before then, he had this really great opportunity in front of him. I really think he biffed his interviews, like say that he didn't hire publicists to attack Blake Lively and everything. He was just writing on the success of this movie as an actor and a director and where he was going to go from there. He would have had an awesome career, but I think he was kind of messing it up because he kept saying that he wanted Ryle to be, what did he say? He said he wanted him to be relatable, redeemable.
Redeemable.
He said he wanted the Ryle character to be redeemable. And when you watch the movie, he absolutely is the fuck not. And I don't know.
You know, the redeemable moment that he tried to make that is still in the cut is the one where, Lily is saying, no, we're not getting back together.
Yeah.
And what would you tell her? Because he's holding their daughter, or she's holding their daughter.
And he's like, yeah, okay.
He was like, I would tell her, I would want her to not get with a guy like me. I get it. So that would be the moment where.
But what I think he should have done when he was marketing the film is be like, hey, it was so exciting to play a villain. I've only gotten to play a villain once before, because it's true. He played like a con artist or something in a movie before. And he should have been like, it was so cool to play this kind of villain. Like, I don't know why he was trying to make it, why he was trying to make the villain character redeemable. You know what I mean? But he wouldn't have had his career's done for because he wanted to lash out and attack his co-star and the star of his movie and tank his own reputation this way. Otherwise, I think he would have had a great career because he played a really good role and he directed a really good movie. It's,
yeah, exactly. You're right. By the way, Lisa Tim said, where is it? I lost it. Oh, she said, don't lie, Dale. You invited all the cast of Don's Mom to a bathhouse. Mm-hmm. That would be funny. It would have been more of an acceptable thing to do in 1995, frankly. In 1995, I mean, Tobey Maguire, as I wrote in this book, Too Real Hollywood Memoir, he freaking just pulled his penis out right in the middle of the set for no particular reason. And our wardrobe girl took a picture of it. So yeah, the 90s were a little different. And if we've learned nothing else, the 90s were a time when women were prey on things like Hollywood sets and in the Hollywood environment, overall. Because that was the time when Harvey Weinstein thrived the most. So I like where we are today. I like that things are changing. I like that people are getting aware, and I think that all of us are getting better as a result of it. So it's a bloody good thing in the end. We are going to close up for the day, but before I do, I just wanted to say thanks, especially to the super chats. By the way, yesterday, Kiki at the very last moment threw us 20 pounds before so awesome. We'd already ended the talk. She didn't show up tonight, but I still want to send a thanks out to her no matter what. Yeah. Hopefully she watches this and she gets to hear our incredible thanks to her, because that was really kind. And No Two Trolls already left, but once again, she's like our executive producer at this point. Adore all of you. Can't wait to see you again. Cosmic Urgency. If you haven't seen the reviews from this week on Monday's episode, man, they're for you, bro. Go get them. I think we had a really great review week. Watching some incredible shit. There's 2 docs there for you on right there now in our chat. Or not in our chat, in our description. There's 2 docs for you, Cosmic. Go check them out. And for anyone else, too, they're there for everyone. We watched these 2 documentaries.
You're talking to the ghost of Cosmic Urgency?
Yeah, and you can watch them. Well, he did talk here.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
here?
He said, hello, I just watched your YouTube channel 2020. He just watched his 2020. You didn't hear me when I said that?
No, I didn't catch the name because I was reading.
So there's 2 really cool documentaries. You can see them. Their links. The links are in our description. They're fucking fabulous.
You're shouting.
So give them a shot if you've got a couple of hours and you want to burn them. I think there's like one of them's like an hour.
They're fucking
fascinating. Great. They're just so fucking cool. So I hope you check them out. But if you don't, that's cool too. Doesn't change my opinion of you. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock for a special Saturday edition.
Yes.
And Angela once again is going to rip through as much as we can. And because of my big mouth, we'll probably not get to the end. Thank you guys so much. I hope to see you again tomorrow. You guys have been fabulous. I had a really fun night. Good night, Angela.